patita pavana hetu Mosama patita Prabhu napai beara Mosama patita Prabhu napai beara Aha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi Aha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi Kripa Balokana Koro Ami Boroduki Kripa Balokana Koro Ami Boroduki Doya Koro Sitapati Advaita Gosai Advaita Gosai Doya Koro Sitapati Advaita Gosai Tava kripa bale pai Caitanya nitai Tava kripa bale pai Caitanya nitai Aha Svarup Sanatana Rupa Raghunata Aha Svarup Sanatana Aha Svarup Sanatana Rupa Raghunata Bata Juga Shri Jiva Prabhu Lokanata Bata Juga Shri Jiva Prabhu Lokanata Doya Koro Shri Acharya Prabhu Shri Nivasa Doya Koro Shri Acharya Prabhu Shri Nivasa Ramachandra Sangamage Narotama Dasa Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Doya Koro More Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Koro More Daya Koro More. Okay, will jemand übersetzen? Wie sagen wir das auf Englisch jetzt? Will jemand übersetzen, lesen? If somebody wants to translate.
My dear Lord Chaitanya, please be merciful to me, because who can be more merciful than your Lordship within these three worlds?
Max, weiter. Just go on.
Your inclination is just to reclaim the conditioned fallen souls, but I assure you that you will not find a greater fallen soul than me. Therefore, my claim is first. My dear Lord Nityananda, you are always joyful in spiritual bliss. Since you always appear very happy, I have come to you because I am most unhappy. If you kindly put your glance over me, then I may also become happy. My dear Advaita Swami, husband of Sita, you are so kind. Please be merciful to me. If you are kind to me, naturally Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda will also be kind to me. O Swarup Damodar, personal secretary of Lord Chaitanya, O six Goswamis, O Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, Sri Gopala Bhatt Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. O Lokanath Goswami, my beloved spiritual master, Narottam Das also prays for your mercy. Sri Srinivas Charya, successor of the six Goswamis, please be merciful to me. Narottam Das always desires the company of Ramachandra Chakravarti. Haribol.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Sam mora da pazim šta kažem, a? Sam prosto snimaš. This is a very nice song. It's a very beautiful song, and it's also the most famous song about Lord Chaitanya. We have many wonderful songs. This is messages congratulating Happy Gaura Purnima. Happy Gaura Purnima. Let me just stop stick somehow. Hare Krishna. We have very wonderful songs about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda and the associates of Lord Chaitanya. And in these simple songs, there's so much, in it. There's so much lila, there's so much philosophy, so much. Even in this song, for example, when I was at the end, when we sing Doya Koro Shri Acharya Prabhu Srinivas, It was just recently, 6 months ago, I was in Vrindavan, and I went to visit the temple of Srinivas Acharya. This was his samadhi area. And there's the samadhis of Srinivas Acharya, of tell me when I'm too fast, Bjorn, if I'm too fast, so you can translate. Yeah, okay. And Srinivas Acharya and Ramachandra Kaviraj. This is the Ramachandra Sangamage Narottamadas. So these are the friends next to each other. And the daughter of Srinivas Acharya's name is, anybody scholar here? Hemalata Thakurani. And she was a big guru, by the way, in Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Huge guru. She had many disciples. She converted many people. Jaya! Ooh, very refreshing. Wow, this is nice. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. We read yesterday that when Lord Chaitanya was dancing in the house of Srivas Thakur, the old devotees have garlands. So maybe today is not possible, but maybe for the next time we put everybody one garland. And in India it's so easy. It's few rupees and you just buy garlands for everybody. Everywhere it's garland, but we don't have a mala selling here in front of the temple, so we somehow had to. Anyway, so Hare Krishna. So just this thing about Srinivas Acharya, there's so much to say about Srinivas Acharya. But one thing, when I was singing, I just came to my mind. Srinivas Acharya was so handsome, you can say. And he actually, when people saw him, they saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because he was exactly resembling the face, the hair, he has the beautiful hair. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They said he was like beauty incarnation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And plus, of course, he was a great scholar and great preacher, we know also. So, to come into this, we spoke so many things about Lord Chaitanya the last 4 days, 5 days, how many? 4 days, about incarnations and this. So I thought today is the final day of Gaur Purnima, glorification of Lord Chaitanya, and I thought we should speak about preaching of Lord Chaitanya. What did he actually do? His influence. We saw he was dancing, he was, what kind of incarnation he was, why did he take incarnations, and so on, and Advaita Acharya with loud cries were calling him. But how was his preaching? What did Lord Chaitanya do? Of course, we don't have enough time to narrate everything, but I will just at least try to see, how much we can make it. Preaching of Lord Chaitanya. First of all, what is Lord Chaitanya's preaching? Lord Chaitanya's preaching was to impress upon people the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, to chant Hare Krishna. And number one preaching of Lord Chaitanya was... Sorry? Before that, it was Lord Chaitanya himself, his beauty, his influence. When Lord Chaitanya just walked, people just could not stop following him, Like we have this story here in these areas when somebody was playing flute. What is the name? This Märchen, when they was playing flute and the children followed him outside of the town. Huh? Yeah, whatever. This I think in Germany you don't have this. They have this with the rats they follow. Whatever. They're different stories, but the point is that some people are so magnetic, so charismatic, and people just follow them. Confirmed. Just like Srila Prabhupada was so charismatic. When I saw this first time video of Ratha Yatra in 1975 in Philadelphia, and I never seen anything like this. Prabhupada walks and people are just falling, like dozens of people just woo, 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 and Prabhupada just walks graciously. This is something, Prabhupada was very charismatic. So all the pure devotees of the Lord are very charismatic. And of course, the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord himself, so he's the most charismatic. So wherever Lord Chaitanya would walk, people would just follow him. And they said, indeed, the assembly of whoever followed Lord Chaitanya was unlimited, Sometimes they said hundreds of thousands of people would follow him. Imagine that. Lord Chaitanya would walk and people just follow him. They don't know why. They don't know who that is, but he is good. I want to follow. We have this replica, as everything else is perverted reflection in the spiritual world, in the material world. We have a big stars, or football player. Imagine if Messi would walk around, people like, oh, please accept my humble obeisances. But this is just a partial. As I said, perverted reflection of the real spiritual world, and this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's body. They said Lord Chaitanya's Mahaprabhu's bodily features were so beautiful, and besides his beautiful bodily features, he was always in ecstasy of Krishna consciousness. So people, simply by seeing him, people start chanting Hare Krishna. That is the preaching. We had, I had in my young brahmachari days, I was distributing books. And then one woman from the second floor saw me and she went downstairs. Anybody book distributors have this experience? Happened many times, no? People come from the second floor, went down and she said, I saw you, I want to know, what are you selling? I want to see what is. And I was like, I heard about this, But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so attractive that people just did not know what it is, and they just start chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. They did not know. And then everybody became Vaishnava, because Vaishnava is the one who chants Hare Krishna. Prabhupada says, when he was asked by the villages of Kulina Grama, please give me the definition of a Vaishnava. Lord Chaitanya said, whoever chants once Hare Krishna is a Vaishnava. So we have so many Vaishnavas. they said that whoever saw, besides chanting, whoever saw the beauty of Lord Chaitanya, whoever saw the form of Lord Chaitanya, was all the unhappiness went away. It's amazing. Such a powerful personality. Lord Chaitanya, as again, he did not write any books. He did not write, but his presence, by his influence, so many people become devotees. To make a parallel with Prabhupada, when Prabhupada came to the West, we read in the books for the early devotees written, there was no scriptures, there was no Bhagavad Gita, there was no Srimad Bhagavatam, there was no Chaitanya Charitamrita, just Prabhupada, elderly Bengali gentleman with these strange robes. And people just following him and become his disciples. They did not know anything about Krishna, like anything. Imagine. We become devotees of somebody we don't even know. But the influence of Prabhupada, somehow Prabhupada had this aura, as we say. Aura. And they said the people who actually follow Lord Chaitanya, who chanted the Hare Krishna mantra, they became so ecstatic, they did not sing or speak about anything else except the Hare Krishna. We said this yesterday when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was cleansing the Gundicha temple. The devotees became after some time so ecstatic they did not speak the words anymore. They were just saying Hare Krishna. If I need a bucket, I say Hare Krishna, and the devotee, oh, Hare Krishna, gives you the bucket back. That would be nice to have like a, how you call this, mediation ministry, If there's a conflict amongst the devotees, you say Hare Krishna, and he said Hare Krishna, and it's done. That would be nice. Another thing, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu traveled through South India. Also, he traveled to Benares or Varanasi. And wherever he went, just by, again, being himself, people start following him. Interestingly, I just skip because I'm not going to go systematic because you cannot do systematic anything on Gaura Purnima. Lord Chaitanya himself was not systematic. He was just sometimes, as we said, to justify it. Lord Chaitanya would sometimes speak heavy philosophy with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, very heavy. And then at other time he would feed a puppy, a dog. And the dog would go back to Godhead, And sometimes he would be in ecstasy of a devotee. And sometimes he would be in ecstasy of God. He would sit on the altar, as we said the other day. Imagine, we are dancing in a kirtan and one devotee just stands up and walks on the altar and sits there. I am him. And we were like, okay, if you say so. Of course, we know it's not. But devotees, Lord Chaitanya devotees knew that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He also revealed to many of them. As again, we spoke the other day, he climbed on the shoulder of Murari Gupta and assumed the form of Varaha. And he would hold a pot, water pot, and he said, I'm, lifting the earth. Very nice. Just how did Lord Chaitanya preach? What was his technique? We have all different kind of, lots of discussion. How do we preach in Krishna consciousness? Some of them, devotees said we should preach straight. Some devotees said we should preach half straight. Some devotees said we should be, preaching bridge preaching or whatever other rope preaching, whatever different ways, different styles of preaching. And Lord Chaitanya did all of them. Jai Shri Nrsimhadeva Prahlad Maharaj, Shri Gaur Nitai Ki Jai. So one of the ways of preaching Lord Chaitanya was he would go travel to a holy place, and because he was a sannyasi, first of all, sannyas was his preaching technique. He realized there is a grihasta, people are not respectful to you. Yeah, some grihasta. As Prabhupada said, pacha grihasta. Pacha means rotten, You are just some attached householder, Because Lord Chaitanya was married, and so he realized that people are not respectful. And this showed when some of his students, when he would be falling into ecstasy and he would chant, Gopi, 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 Gopi. So the students said, what is this Gopi, Gopi? You should study, you should be more serious, or if you chant some mantras, proper mantras, not Gopi, Gopi. So, and then Krishna's Kaviraj calls these disciples Adama Paduya. This is Adama Paduya, meaning the lowest among the student community. I don't know. Interesting proper translation. Lowest among the student community. So, and so Lord Chaitanya realized these people are not respectful towards me. So out of his mercy and kindness, he took sannyas. Because, in this world, people are, mostly Shudras, Kalo Shudra Sambhava. They are not respecting. When somebody comes with a stick, either the, political stick or a sannyas stick, people say, oh, he is the one, So Lord Chaitanya took sannyas, and whoever offers obeisances or regards to Lord Chaitanya as a sannyasi, they got benefits. So this was the pure preaching purpose, nothing else. Lord Chaitanya did not need to take sannyas. We spoke about Vanaprastha the other day. Vanaprasthas go to the forest. In winter time, now it's snowing, and you go all night submerged into the cold river, standing there. Imagine, Of course, we'll die from pneumonia within 2 hours probably, or 1 hour. But, so this was the heavy austerities, and sannyas also. But Lord Chaitanya took sannyas purely for preaching purposes. And therefore, when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati started his movement, Gaudiya Math, he realized that we also have to have some kind of status in the society. Because at that time, after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the followers of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, many hundreds years after, they were just Babajis, So Babajis means beyond Varnas, no Brahmana, no sannyas. We are just beyond, So, and then he saw that people actually don't respect this, There's some old people sitting in somewhere and chanting. And Babaji is also not friendly, Not friendly. This is what I was thinking. When I'm old, I just want to become Babaji style. No more friendliness. Just chant Hare Krishna, and it's enough for friendliness in this material world. But until then, we have a few more years to preach, so we have to at least pretend, So so people are criticizing Gaudiya Vaishnavas. These are the poor people. These are the uneducated people. They're just sitting somewhere in some grove and not intelligent. So Bhaktisiddhanta saw this and he said, no, we have to establish ourselves in the society. So he instituted brahmanas, again, although we are, according to this, beyond this brahmana. So he started giving brahmana initiations, and then also he started giving sannyas initiations. Because when people in India, people have sannyas, there's something, So this was the Lord Chaitanya's purpose. He took sannyas for these purposes. And then wherever he would go, people would just follow him in masses, And then when he would go to the place of pilgrimage, people would invite him for lunch. This is the message for the householders in Germany. This is the little weak point of the householders in Germany. The householders should invite sadhus, preachers for lunch. It says here, all the Vaishnavas, Brahmanas, residing in Sri Ranga Kshetra, invited the Lord to their homes. Indeed, he had an invitation every day. Hariva. In the Balkan countries, people are a little more open. When I was preaching there was almost every day invitation for lunch. Different wonderful preparations, which we're not going to talk about right now, because it's a fasting day. But, sorry? Yes. But Lord Chaitanya, devotees invite them every day. And they said that Chaturmasya is 4 months, Chaturmasya. So Lord Chaitanya would stay in one place for 4 months, because during this is a rainy season. It's raining whole 4 months. So that time is not good for traveling, lots of floods and so on, mud. So Lord Chaitanya would get invitation every day, imagine. And he said the list of the devotees would be so that they couldn't fit in the 4 months. Hundreds and hundreds of invitations for lunch. Not that Lord Chaitanya needed lunch, of course, but again, this is one of the preaching strategy. You go and you talk to your kids, give blessings to the kids. This is very important. in the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Narada Muni, this is how he became Narada Muni. By serving the little child, 5 years old. Imagine, little child comes and he brings you plate, and of course the sadhus are pleased and they bless the child. It's okay. It's all right. And so this is what Lord Chaitanya did, you know. He was taking lunch every day in different. This is one of his preaching strategies, accepting lunch in different devotees. But also, Lord Chaitanya would not only see, you know, regular people, he would also see scholars. And he would argue with these scholars. And then there's a verse by, what is his name? Krishna Kaviraj Goswami, who says, there are many kinds of philosophers. Some, you know, in India there's this Shad Darshan, 6 kind of philosophies. Gautama, Kanada, Mimamsa philosophy, Jaimini, Mayavadi Shankaracharya, Sankhya philosophy, or Patanjali yoga philosophy. And they said in this way there are many different types of philosophers. And all these adherents of various scriptures were ready to present the conclusions of their respective scriptures, but Lord Chaitanya broke all their opinions to pieces and established his own cult of bhakti based on the Vedas, Vedanta, and Brahma Sutra. And our philosophy, as we follow it, is known as Achintya Beda Abeda Tattva. There was some years ago, there was a band. What is the name of the band? Kula Shekhar. They had this song, Achintya Beda Beda Tattva. There was a very high in the top hits in England, I think. People did not know what it means, but it was a good song. Very nice. Whose Gaunitas are these, by the way? Huh? They just came to they just came to participate in festival at the. Okay. He said, we just came to see if it's okay. We just came to see if it's okay. We'll leave after the festival. You never know. We are speaking how when Lord Chaitanya appeared, the demigods took the form of humans. They came to see Lord Chaitanya, and nobody knew who is the normal human, who is like a alien, demigods. They took the forms. So they offer gifts to the Lord. So they came also. Second Gaunitais. It is actually said, one Leela in Mayapur, there was one devotee was very attached to Gaunitai, to Gauranga Nityananda, people in Gauranga Nityananda. And so Lord Chaitanya says, we have to leave now, and the devotee said, no, please stay, don't go. How can I will die. If you go, I will die. And the Lord Chaitanya said, well, here you have a deities of us, Gaur Nitai, and if you worship the deity, it's the same, not different. And he said, no, I cannot, this is not the same. And he said, well, I will show you how the same it is. So then from Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya emanated another Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya. And they went on the altar. And then during the kirtan, all four came down and started dancing, mixing. So the devotees did not know who is the deity, who is the Lord Chaitanya. So when they went on the altar, Lord Chaitanya said, you see, I told you. Worshipping deities is the same as worshipping me. So Shishi Gonitai Ki Jai. Where is Gonitai actually during the normal? In this room, still there. The library.
Yes.
Yeah.
Before it was the
What
library.
Now next to the shop.
I see. Library. Library was MS. Shishi Gonitai Ki Jai. So Lord Chaitanya actually argued with these philosophers. So this is also a good lesson for the preachers in Krishna consciousness to know the philosophy, at least somewhat to know the philosophy. I was very, very young devotee. 2 weeks in the movement, maybe 3 weeks, not more. Brand new. I was in Vrindavan, And so in front of the Gaurnita, at that time there was like, I spoke to whom did I speak in the car? To Jacob. That time there was not many people, not many visitors coming to Vrindavan temple. During the week was mostly devotees. There was no other visitors basically. There was really nectar. You can just see the deities, and everything was nice. You were there also, 90s, isn't it?
Now like in the bus station.
A little bit more. Uh, so, and then was the one Indian man came, a little nicely dressed, and he started dancing in front of Gaura Kirtan. There was Guru Puja, and he started become more ecstatic and swirling and spinning, and we thought, wow, this is an ecstatic person, you know. And after the finished Kirtan, you know, lecture, and then somehow we were going with our bus. We had a bus at that time to some other place to preach, Agra, I don't know exactly. And this person came and he said, "Can I take a ride with you?" To do, because he wanted to, whatever, take a ride to Agra or whatever. And the devotee said, yes, okay. So somehow or other, he sat next to me in this bus. This is our devotee bus, you know. And he sat next to me and we started talking. He was very nice, very cordial, respectful. And he said, I asked him, what is his profession? He said, oh, he's a Sanskrit scholar. He translates books from Sanskrit. And he's a Shankaracharya Mat, you know. This philosophy, it's a heavy, he looks like some heavy scholar, you know. And here he is, a Bhakta Sasha, you know, sitting next to him. And then he said something, and then he said, we believe in this, not Parinamavada, but was this Vivartavada philosophy. Vivartavada is the philosophy of illusion. Just like there's a rope, if this would be dark and you see this rope hanging and you would think maybe it is a snake. You know, you don't know, it's a dark. But once you are enlightened, the light comes up and you realize this is just a rope. So in the same way, we have this one idea what this world is. But once we are enlightened, then we realize this is actually nothing and we just one with this universe and we merge into this Brahman, complete totality of existence. And I said, you know, Mayavadi philosophy, and I'm sitting, Bhakta Sasha, what should I do now? You know, he's a Sanskrit scholar. And I was thinking, I remember. And I said, can I ask you one question? And he said, yes. Why did you dance in front of our Gaura? And he said, because it was ecstatic and he felt the vibes. And I said, why you didn't go to the forest alone and stand in front of the tree and dance in front of the tree? And he was like, you know, I said, well, if it's everything is one, why you didn't go to the forest and dance in front? And he couldn't answer. And I was like, Prabhupada ki Jaya, you know. So we should know philosophy, at least something, you know. This is what I wanted to, not to praise myself, but praise Prabhupada. But little things which we know from Prabhupada, we can actually even defeat some big scholar, you know. Because he couldn't answer. What did he answer? You know, something he couldn't really. Of course, I didn't. He was still nice, and I was nice, but I was thinking, you know, in me, like, yes, you know. Gauranga. Why we did do this? Because we heard it yesterday that in 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, whenever you sneeze, you should say Krishna's name. It's an instruction. So next time, no more Gesundheit, but Krishna. I'm saying this because in German we say Gesundheit when we sneeze. You know. So, where are we now? Okay. Achintya Beda Beda Tattva. So preaching, actually in Lord Chaitanya's preaching means that he converted people, you know, converted them to become devotees. The best example of the converted devotees were Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. They were actually working in the Muslim government. They were considered to be Muslims more or less because they worked with them and they even dressed. You know, Sanatana Goswami had a long beard, you know, so like Muslim. And so when Lord Chaitanya saw him later on, of course, when Sanatana came to Varanasi, Lord Chaitanya looked at him and he said, he was in the house and he told to Tapal Mishra, go out and see if there's a great Vaishnava in front of your door. So Tapal Mishra came out the door. No, there's nobody. Lord Chaitanya said, go out again. I feel there's a great Vaishnava in front of the door. So Tapal Mishra went, nobody there. So is there anybody in front of your door? He said, yeah, there's one Muslim guy, you know, Muslim mendicant. He says, bring him in. So this was actually Sanatana Goswami. He was dressed like a Muslim, he had a beard. And so Lord Chaitanya saw him and he embraced him, of course, and tears and of course, person fainted, as usually it happens in our wonderful religion. People are fainting and crying all the time. Isn't it? It's so amazing. What do you do mostly when you achieve perfection? Usually faint and cry. Oh, okay. Or even worse, suffer in separation from the Lord. Okay. We know such a nice. But of course, this is externally. When we look externally, internally, it is actually transcendentally blissful. When Gopa Kumar, after all this journey in a book called Briha Bhagavatamrita, went to the spiritual world, finally arrived in Goloka Vrindavan, and he said he was finally after being to Vaikunta and Shiva Loka and different planets, and the ecstasy was bigger and bigger. And he arrived in Goloka Vrindavan, and he saw a grief. He says this was a grief loka. Grief means suffering. And he said everybody was like either crying or morose. And he said he did not understand. Oh, what is this now? I thought this was the highest. And here's everybody's crying and is depressed, And he was, but then while he was thinking about this, we know Nanda Maharaj, they built a big, in the village of Vrindavan, they built a big tower. And this tower has the one purpose and one purpose only. Anybody knows? No water tower, no. When Krishna is coming. So they climb to this and they're looking. Is Krishna coming? And so somebody was up there and he said, Krishna is coming back. And then life came in raptures, emotional, outburst. Wow, Krishna. And he realized, wow, what is this now? So this is the mood of Goloka Vrindavan. So come back to this. The Goswamis actually are converted. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Sanatana Goswami, you should shave your beard and you should shave your head to look like a gentleman. Prabhupada says, like a gentleman. He translated this. So Sanatana Goswami did this. And so both Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami were converted. Another conversion is very interesting pastime. I think there are two very interesting pastimes. I don't want to say strange, but unusual pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. And this is conversion of the Muslim soldiers, Pathans. Prabhupada translates Pathan soldiers as Turkish soldiers. So they were, devotees were traveling with Lord Chaitanya, few devotees, 4. And Lord Chaitanya would, from time to time, faint in ecstasy of Krishna consciousness. And once he would faint, and he would not wake up. Usually devotees would chant, Hare Krishna, and Lord Chaitanya would wake up, he would ask, what happened? I was just with the gopis in Vrindavan, what happened now? So, but Lord Chaitanya was still unconscious. So devotees were concerned, they were chanting, nothing happened. And meanwhile, the Pathan soldiers, the guards, the Muslim soldiers came, and they said, what did you do? You killed this holy man to take his money. So the devotee said, no, we did not. No, I think you did. You gave him a plant called Datura. I actually had once Ayurvedic medicine made with the Datura. Anybody had this? It's a little bitter, Poison after all. In small amounts is okay, but in bigger, then you get poisoned. So they said, you gave him the Datura and you killed him to take his money. So they wanted to kill these devotees. They were just about to kill them with swords. And Lord Chaitanya woke up and he said, what happened? And then, the soldiers explained. The Lord Chaitanya said, no, they are my followers actually. And in his humility he said, sometimes I suffer from epilepsy. And you can see sometimes I saw an article by the academic scholar somewhere in England, and they say the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a great saint, and he had the occasional sufferings of epileptic fits or whatever, that he would faint, and they thought this is because of epilepsy. Again, little they knew that everybody does it all the time. So then Lord Chaitanya said, no, don't kill them. And then they start talking philosophy, and Lord Chaitanya actually preached to them and told them about the Quran and so on and so forth. And he said, actually in your Quran, there is no goal of life. It's interesting. He said, actually, you know, there's establishing worshiping of God, but there's no actually, what is the goal of life of a human being? And also, it is the God is described as impersonal. So these two things Lord Chaitanya argued with them, and here they accepted it, and they became devotees. This is an interesting thing. The Lord Chaitanya convert them into the Vaishnavas. Saying this, then one of the Muslim scholars, he started chanting Hare Krishna just automatically by speaking to Lord Chaitanya. And this scholar fell at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and requested him, please tell me what is the goal of life. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, please get up, don't be, humble. He said, chant the holy name of Krishna. Chant the holy name of Krishna. So everybody started chanting the holy name of Krishna. And in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu initiated the saintly Muslim by advising him to chant the holy name of Krishna. He also, Lord Chaitanya, changed his name. He gave him the name Ramadas, which is interesting also for us as, also on the level of not acceptable in the Vedic society, at least the Western people in the Western world. We are instructed to chant the holy name of Krishna, and by being instructed to chant the holy name of Krishna, we actually get initiated. This is the initiation. Somebody tells you, chant the holy name of Krishna. This is the initiation. There's few devotees who are initiated like this. One of them just came to my mind is Nrsimha. What is his name? Prabhu? Nrsimha Prabhupada disciple? Nrsimha, he was a famous devotee, yeah? No. Anyways, Nrsimha something Prabhu. And I knew him some years ago, long time no see, so you don't. Far from your eyes, far from the heart, So Nrsimhananda, he was very young, something like 16 or 17 years old, and he joined the devotees, and of course at that time there was a propaganda, the Hare Krishnas are dangerous, this and that, and especially when you are 16 years old, or 17, however old he was. And then his parents requested him to come back home, and you cannot stay in the temple. And he was like, but Prabhupada, if I go back to my parents, I will fall into Maya. And Prabhupada says, come to my room. So he came to his room and he said, I think your name from now on is Nrsimhananda, and Nrsimhadev will protect you from Maya. So this was the initiation. And he just left. There was no bananas, no cakes or whatever we make for initiations, Just chant Hare Krishna mantra, and this is your name. And this is following in the footsteps of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He told people to chant, and he gave them the name. Your name is Ramadas. So therefore, we have all kinds of names, sometimes unusual. When I write Jaya Sacinandana Das, even devotees cannot sometimes pronounce. When you say to non-devotee, they cannot even start to speak the name. Yesterday we have they asked you, what's your name? And you said Agarwal. Agarwal. Sanjay Agarwal. I know. Sanjay Agarwal. Because we get these Indian names, Gopal or whatever names we have. But these names are just the names of Krishna to remind us of Krishna. I mean, when we are in the car having an accident, would you like to say Krishna Das or Balaram, or Bashar? I mean, this is probably also a nice transcendental name. I'm not doubting. When you chant Bashar, I'm sure you get spiritual benefits. But we are getting these names to actually get purified, to remember the names of Krishna. Your child is named Krishnadas, You always say Krishnadas, Krishnadas, Krishnadas. And this is also in the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, in the story with Jamila, that his son was named Narayan. And at the time of his death, he would cry, where is my son? Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. And he died, and he actually went back to Godhead, because he chanted his son's name. So Not bad, not bad. So therefore we get initiations by being instructed to chant, by getting the name. And this Muslim's name, he got named Ramadas. And another got initiation called Vijuli Khan. I don't know, this was his initiated name. And this actually, they became Vaishnavas. They became celebrated as Patan Vaishnavas. Like we are, Angreji Mandir, sometimes they say in Vrindavan. Well, Angreji Mandir, Angreji, okay. Everybody knows. They don't say it's a Krishna Balaram temple. I say Angreji Mandir. Angreji is like a foreigners or English Angreji, In India, isn't it? Anybody here from India? Angreji Mandir, So this is the Angreji Vaishnavas, I was once in South India, not in South, Goa is just considered South. And outside of, on the land, not on the beach, a little bit further, there's one Gurukula. This is very, very nice. Like you enter Gurukula, you feel like you went 1,000 years ago. They sit on the floor, very simple, dhoti, no shirts, everything's just like, they have this little like wooden like this, and all these books, and they all study Sanskrit and all these homas, and this was amazing for us. Like, wow, this was like going to a different time. And then we asked, what is your worship? Whom you worship? We said, we're worshiping Krishna. And we said, yes, but we saw when we entered, we saw lots of Shiva pictures. And they said, this is because Madhvacharya, this was a Shiva ashram, and Madhvacharya preached. He actually converted all this. There was a Shiva ashram to Vaishnavas. But they still have left over this Shiva worship, So that thought that's also interesting. Also, in our case, the ISKCON is growing now, but in the West, there'll be always little flavor of Western style, We cannot neglect it, This is how it is. We will always have this Western flavor, that we are, coming from our backgrounds. The way we sing, for example, is Western melodies. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. This is not the Indian style, Bengali, I was listening this, what is his name? Leo, what is his name? No. So he sang this original Bengali style kirtan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Even now, I think still Western style. Because this is how it is. These Patanas became Vaishnavas. And another way of Lord Chaitanya preached was another interesting or a little weird and funny pastime. I was telling yesterday how Krishna sometimes does something very funny. So this is also very, very funny pastime. It's a pastime with Buddhists. The Lord Chaitanya once met Buddhists and they started discussing the philosophy, and Lord Chaitanya defeated Buddhists philosophically. So they accepted defeat, so they went to their ashram and they thought, we cannot accept this, They were envious and they said, let's give him some food which is unofferable. They know the standards, and then we can give him, tell him this is Mahaprasadam. They wanted Lord Chaitanya to break the principles. So they came to Lord Chaitanya and they offered him this prasadam, so-called prasadam. And Lord Chaitanya was sitting there. While Lord Chaitanya was sitting, what happened? A large bird came, very large bird, and took the plate and lifted the plate in the air and dropped the plate, and plate came on the head of the Buddhist monk. And he said with the loud bong, bong. I thought it was so funny. Because this is, when you go to Buddhist temple, it's bong, So Lord Chaitanya indirectly made really, really funny. This is pun, it's called pun. This is like a physical pun, not word pun, but he made a bong, but it was a different kind of bong, It's ridiculous, And then the Buddhist monk fell unconscious, of course, and he was laying unconscious. So his disciples were wondering, what should we do now? Guruji is unconscious, and so they came to Lord Chaitanya and said, what should we do? you know, so, let me see. Lord Chaitanya said, Sir, please excuse our offense. Please have mercy upon us and bring our spiritual master back to life. Because they thought he was dead. You know. Lord Chaitanya said to the Buddhist disciples, you all should chant the names of Krishna very loudly to the ear of your spiritual master. So he was laying there, they all came. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And chanting and chanting and chanting. And after some time, the teacher regained his consciousness. He woke up and he was, what's going on? What's going on? And as soon as he woke up, the first thing he did, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So everybody was chanting. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, in a commentary to this Leela, said that actually the Buddhist disciples were not anymore disciples of the Guru, but that was just the opposite. They became gurus of their Guru. Because they initiated Guru into the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. They got initiated simultaneously. This was a mass initiation. Sometimes when I got initiated, that was in Mayapur, and there was a big stage, and there was a very, very many devotees, and we had, I don't know, 4 or 6 yagya pits, and everybody, the devotees were sitting around, and each guru was inviting disciple to come up on the stage. You initiated also? On the stage? Yeah. And then we all got initiated, and Guru speaks a little bit about the disciple, and then we got initiated. And then we just about to finish. Jaya Maharaj comes, because he was late, you know. And he comes with, 500 people, you know. They're following him. So then he went up to stage, and we all like, is he going to initiate all those people? I said, yeah. Oh, man, there was like another 2 hours. He gave initiation to everybody, and he was sitting like this. That was the most ecstatic thing. He was sitting here, and the people would just give him the beads, and he would the name. Your name is this, you know. Your name is this. So all these, hundreds of people got initiated, and then he said, anybody else? This is called, mass production of the devotees, you know. And we see here, again, this is the following in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya. He mass initiated his soldiers. The Buddhist monks. So, interesting, when you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, you see how much similarities we actually do. How actually we live Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's not only we are reading it, but we are living Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, what else? Another thing Lord Chaitanya did was he was dispelling the doubts of people. This is interesting also. And I think this could be one of our next steps in Krishna consciousness, that we actually help people to understand the world, what's going on. I was just recently in Ireland. One devotee told me, we were speaking a little bit, and he said, I said something, he said, this is what we should speak to the people. Because he said, he's following lots of media as everybody else. And he said, there are lots of confusion, what's going on? People do not know. And he said, this is a time that we actually have to dispel the doubts of the people, to explain them what is actually going on. Because if we don't have knowledge of Krishna, this world is so weird, man. The world is so weird. No sense, no justice. Anybody who has a kshatriya, a little bit mind, you see there's no justice in this world. And then you wonder, what's the point? Why should I be, then I can also steal and this and that, because this doesn't matter. So I think this is what we have to dispel the doubts of the people. So what happened is, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was traveling through South India, and he would meet one Brahmana, and this Brahmana invited him for lunch. So Lord Chaitanya came, he was relatively poor, you can say, and he had some forest fruits and flowers, which is nowadays cost fortune actually, to have pure ingredients. So he cooked for Lord Chaitanya ate, And he said, why don't you eat? And he said, yeah, he looked very depressed. So Lord Chaitanya asked him, why are you depressed? I mean, what's the reason? My dear sir, why are you worried? And the Brahmana said, I have no reason to live. I shall give up my life by entering the fire, or I will jump into the water. So Lord Chaitanya was like, oh, hold on a minute, this is a serious business. Why are you doing this? And the man said, he read that the Mother Sita, Mother of the universe, was abducted by Ravana and she was touched by the demon's hand. And he said, he cannot tolerate this. The Sita, who is the supreme goddess, the mother of the universe, was touched by the sinful hand of this terrible person called Ravana. And he said, this gave me so much grief that I cannot bear it anymore. So what did Lord Chaitanya do? He said, my dear sir, please do not think this way any longer. Listen this. Then Lord Chaitanya narrated. Actually, Sita Devi does not have a material body. She has a spiritual body. So this body, which was abducted by Ravana, is actually her material reflection body, not a real form of Sita. And therefore, Ravana kidnapped, other form than herself. And then later on, Lord Chaitanya actually found this statement in the Purana, one of the Puranas, and he brought him back and he gave him the evidence. So I thought it was interesting also. We not only preach to the people saying, this Krishna consciousness is very good, the Krishna consciousness is very happy, and then you are depressed, as a preacher, so this cannot be. We have to give the example, beweis. What is beweis? Evidence. You have to give the evidence how Krishna consciousness is good. If you said, join our community has to be very nice. We cannot say, join our community are not good. Fighting or whatever, sometimes happens, not all the time, of course. But we have to, as they say in English, get your acts together. Get our acts together. Then we can actually preach just by existing. People will come and say, wow, this is a wonderful community, I want to join. We don't need to, So, this is what Lord Chaitanya, he dispelled the doubt of this person, of a Brahmana, and he gave him also evidence. This is it, you should not worry anymore. And the Brahmana was, of course, very, very happy. Very, very happy. So Lord Chaitanya also found Brahma Samhita. This is another very important thing. What else we have? Meaning that he was also at that time was not easy like nowadays. We have especially in ISKCON, where everything is done. Temples, this beautiful temple. You just come and you say, "Wow, this is a nice place." We don't need to build a temple from zero. Everything is here. We don't need to translate the book from Sanskrit, print them, distribute them. Everything is done already. You just order some books from BBT. Everything is so simplified for us. So simplified. So we should take full advantage of it. Understand, this is so simple. I should take this advantage. Everything is there. I don't need to, weave my own dhoti, You just, you don't need to go to India anymore. You can order from Loy Bazaar online, they ship it to you. Everything, books, anything. So everything is easy, so we should take it, take an advantage. And another interesting thing is, what I also thought, Lord Chaitanya's preaching method is something which we also a little bit forgot nowadays. It's called empowerment. Empowering devotees. Lord Chaitanya empowered various devotees. Of course, he empowered, first of all, 6 Goswamis to write books, to excavate the holy places in Vrindavan. How can you find, you go to a jungle, how do you find a holy place? There's no written anything, but devotees from the heart, they chanted and they say, oh, this is the place of, Dashashwamedha Ghat, for example. Sanatana Goswami found this place. This is the place where Krishna jumped to fight Kaliya. So Lord Chaitanya empowered the devotees. There's some other devotees of Lord Chaitanya, particularly some also, you can say, humorous, Lord Chaitanya empowered Nakula Das Brahmachari. And how did he empower him? The Lord Chaitanya actually entered his heart mystically. And Nakula Das Brahmachari carried Lord Chaitanya in his heart from that moment on. And he said, as that happened, Nakula became like a ghost hunted. Like a madman, laughing, wandering around. And nobody knew what's happening with this Nakula. So, they said the Lord Chaitanya embodied, exhibited the bodily transformation same way as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he was actually becoming so empowered by the Lord that he could perform the task only Lord Chaitanya could do. Yeah. They said whoever saw Nakula Das, he became a Vaishnava. And whoever saw a person who saw Nakula Das, he also became Vaishnava. So this is empowerment. I think again, let's put it a little bit on a social context today. We need to empower people. We need to empower not only, nowadays the social media means me. It's a me time. Selfie, this is so uncultured actually, this selfie culture. Picture, I am here, Or they stand in front of Gornitai like, I am here. This is God behind me and this is me here first, This is a new culture which is really ugly and uncultured actually. So it's a me culture, me society, me first, But we should follow this again, the example of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who actually empowered his disciples, his followers. He empowered various people. Although, who is Nakula Brahmachari, We don't even know who that is, But Lord Chaitanya empowered him. And Srila Prabhupada also following in the footsteps, Bhaktisiddhanta following in the footsteps, he also empowered his disciples. When Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, huge guru, acharya, would give class, before him, he would let his disciples speak. This culture, I think that would be nice. And Prabhupada also did quite a few times. He would sit and he would say, okay, you say something. Then Pushta Krishna, there was this famous discussion, Pushta Krishna, heavily preaching, Prabhupada was so pleased, very nice. We also read in Cologne every morning, before the Bhagavatam class, we read this Hari Sori's Prabhu Transcendental Diary. And there's a story that, I think it was Hari Sori, Prabhupada was sitting, there were some scholars, also impersonal scholars. And Prabhupada let him speak, And the devotee was so heavy, Mayavadi, and he's quoting from Bhagavad Gita, and everything was finished. And then they left, and then devotee, Prabhupada didn't speak, just he spoke. And then everybody left, and he asked, Prabhupada, was I too heavy? Was I too unreasonable? Burning guests, Prabhupada says, just keep on speaking like this. He was very pleased. So this is called empowerment. So we should empower from the highest level to the lowest level. We should not be greedy, We should be greedy for the mercy, but not on a case that we, put others down. This is called envy. If we put other people down, so that I can stand up, this is called envy. We should actually let everybody speak, everybody be empowered. Prabhupada was very pleased with the child, went to the Sunday feast and pulled the guest by the pants, and the man said, what's happening? And the child said, do you know who is Krishna? And the man said, no, first time in him. And she said, that girl, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he was like, wow. Prabhupada said, this is preaching. So we should empower everybody. It should be empowerment. Because this movement is not for the few chosen ones. This movement is for everybody. This is a mass movement. I must say this is maybe not even appropriate, but my wife had a dream once, It's very interesting. I'm just as an example, not any. So she was dreaming that she was standing and looking a devotee, looking down at one hole. There's a hole down in the ground, and then devotee was like, go all the way down and pick somebody up, and this person would go away. Then devotee was go again down, up to here, grabbing this person up, And then she was thinking, wow, what's going on? And then one shiny personality came. later soon to be, discovered as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, this hole became much, much bigger. And then people start somehow crawling about by themselves. He was helping, here and there, but people also crawling, like everywhere. And she said, many, many people just climbing. So I thought this is a very nice, actually, illustration. Our Lord Chaitanya's movement is for everybody, that everybody is Paramahamsa. Of course, we have a potential Paramahamsa, of course. We have social customs to follow. There's the seniors and juniors, whatever, sannyasi, but the reality is we are all in the same pot, and we all need to climb that hole. Whether we did this help or that help, on this way or that way, somehow we are climbing this hole, because this is the time where the hole is open. We should not wait. The Kali Yuga is over and the hole is closed, and then we have to again, someone has to drag us very slowly in difficulty. So now is the chance. We should all take opportunity and go back to Godhead. Become pure devotees in this life. Go back to Godhead. Finish business. Everybody. So this is the movement of Lord Chaitanya. Sankirtan. All of us. So this was another thing, empowerment. How long should I speak? It's no food, so well. So I will till 4. Okay, thank you. Actually, one Gaura Purnima, I was here with Bhakta Gergil. Anybody remembers this? And I spoke like until 12, wasn't it? Don't worry in the kitchen. It's not going to be until 12. Now, kitchen devotees, oh my God, I'm going to listen to this guy. Another thing, which is a very, very interesting thing, is preaching with books. Lord Chaitanya introduced this, preaching with books. Words are nice, as Bhaktisiddhanta. Actually, at the appearance day of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, I spoke and I printed logo of Gaudiya Math. It's a very interesting logo, actually. Bhaktisiddhanta made this logo. Anybody knows logo of Gaudiya Math? It's like a circle, and on top is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu standing there as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So there is a right side of the logo, a left side, and each side is divided on three compartments. And left side is the sadhana mark, how do you call this? Bhagavat and? Vaidhi Bhakti or Pancharatrika Vidhi. So this is the left side. And the right side is Bhagavat mark, our spontaneous devotional service. So the first thing, in the middle, you have a picture on the left side, picture of Lakshmi Narayan sitting on a throne. This is our mood. How do we worship Krishna? On the right side, we have Radha and Krishna. We know Radha and Krishna, you cannot worship with awe and reverence. We worship in spontaneous love. And we saw, in the pastimes of Radharani and Krishna, the many, many unorthodox interactions between Radha and Krishna. But in the mood of Lakshmi Narayan, there's no unorthodox. Everything is proper. So Prabhupada and Bhaktisiddhanta instituted this. We are worshipping Radha Krishna in the mood of Lakshmi Narayan. Not ex-Lakshmi Narayan, but in the mood of Lakshmi Narayan. This is a unique, you can say, approach. Sometimes, many years ago, I saw in India, in Banki Bihari temple, Radha and Krishna had golden watches. Like these gangster watches, gold, And I thought, wow, this is inappropriate. And I also heard later on, this was the time that they get experimented because they wanted to worship on spontaneous love. The Radharani even wore jeans and all these things. But this is not appropriate. Appropriate is to worship. We have a beautiful worship here. Even Radha and Krishna, we worship it. Sometimes the Radharani stand like this in a mood of Lakshmi Narayan. Then we have book. On the right side of Lord Chaitanya is this Bhagavat Vidhi, is the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is our main, you can say, preaching book, how to become a devotee. On the left side, where this Pancharatrika Vidhi is Hari Bhakti Vilas, the book by Sanatana Goswami, explaining different rules and regulations, which again we are following. We are dressed certain way, we are offering obeisances, we are bathing, whatever the standards we have. And then underneath, underneath of on the left side, you have the glocke. Glocke is bells. Bell and the ghee lamp. Ghee lamp. The meaning, this is the worship. We're worshipping Lakshmi Narayan or Radha Krishna. This is the, because again, Goswamis did not have this. There's no such a thing. Goswami have a ghee lamp and Achman. Goswamis just carried the Lord in their hand. Lokanath Das Goswami, he had this like a chadar, like Ramananda wears this, this tied back there, and then he had it like this, and he carried Krishna in there, around his neck. This is the worship of. And my favorite, Srinivasacharya, he had a deity called Julan Thakur. He carried him in his bead bag. He had to chant, and then you look a little bit. There's a Krishna inside also in your bead bag. So the different worship, but we are worshiping, with all this Achman and prayers and all these things. So, and then the last one on the left side. Sorry, this is on the left side. This Achman and all these bells, and on the right side on the Bhagavat Marga is picture of printing press. In the logo itself, printing press. Bhaktisiddhanta was very fond of printing press. So this is again coming from the 6 Goswamis, coming from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced this book distribution. He actually introduced it. And therefore we have a book distribution. There's so many things, wonderful things. Can I speak more or you want to go? Huh? Okay. If you want to go, you're welcome. The few people will stay. Another thing is Lord Chaitanya's preaching was he discovered or rediscovered Vrindavan. This was a big contribution. Nowadays we see why. Vrindavan is whoever goes to Vrindavan, of course nowadays a little more, busy, as Prabhu was saying. Let's use it that way. But whoever goes to Vrindavan immediately, automatically remembers Krishna. You go to Vrindavan, first of all, you think, I'm going to Krishna's land. Is this Krishna's land? Before, now it's like a little bit crazy, but before, there was this bicycle rickshaws. Nowadays there's the e-rickshaws, whatever. But before there was these people riding bicycle. And if you want to go to Krishna Balaram, from Krishna Balaram to Loy Bazar, you take the bicycle rickshaw. And when you go with bicycle rickshaw, you meet other rickshaws on the way. Sometimes it's like eng. What is eng? Narrow. Huh? Tight or narrow path. And then 2 rickshaws, and one rickshaw says, Radhe Radhe. And the other rickshaw said, Radhe Radhe. So you actually just sitting in a public transportation, you are hearing the holy name of Radharani. And then in the morning, of course, the bells, when bells start ringing, of course, before also, there was a sand, by the way, believe it or not, in Vrindavan, everywhere. Maybe this main road was also, but this was also half covered in sand. It was not fully asphalt. But in Parikram Marg was sand, just sand. So this sand also reminds you of Krishna. It's called Vrindavan Duli. And this sand is actually very, very beneficial. In the local folk tales, they said, if you put sand, or Vrindavan sand on your forehead, every step you walk is like doing Ashwamedha Yagya, whatever. So we all I heard this a lot, let's keep it, and walk like half a kilometer, like we did. So, and we know also from Krishna book, the Nakrura entered Vrindavan and he saw the footprints of Krishna, and he jumped and rolled into the sand of Vrindavan. So, reminds you of Krishna. Another thing what was very much reminding us of Krishna was monkeys. They now become a little bit dangerous. They were not so dangerous before. Now it's a little bit aggressive. Of course, they become more modernized in monkeys nowadays. Before, monkeys steal your glasses. They usually steal your glasses. So whoever has glasses, watch out. And then you go buy a banana, and then you offer banana, and monkey comes and exchange. Gives you glasses, you give him banana. But nowadays monkeys, what? Fruit tea, fruit juice, They become more modernized. So you have to, They don't, bananas is like, this is our grandfathers, eat bananas. Like every kid, they think they're cooler. So they said, we want to now, they don't say it, but they do it. You have to buy some juice or tea, and then you have to, with the straw, you put a straw in the thing, and then you give them and they drink. And then give the glasses back. Sometimes. I actually saw it. My wife, they stole it from my wife, and we brought the tea, and they said, no, they just chew it, They were not merciful. But I saw other lady, she had it, she knew, she had it in her purse. She gave him the tea, and he immediately drank. But you have to open it for him, They're smart, Modern, computer age monkeys. And because in Krishna book, monkeys were stealing butter, The same nonsense rascal stealing. Krishna would even feed the monkeys. The monkeys would eat on, they would leave. And then when Yashoda came and said, what did you do? And Krishna would say, oh, your butter is useless, not even monkeys want to eat it. The rascal. But you remember Krishna when you were in Vrindavan. Another thing was very much prominent in Vrindavan, peacocks. When they in the morning, they're very, very peaceful, no cars, cars started coming around 2 o'clock or 3 afternoon or something. No cars, there was actually no cars even before. There was some ambassador car and Maruti or something, 2 types of cars, So then you hear peacocks, this, wow, wow, and then you listen, you think like, wow, Krishna, and you remember pastimes of Krishna. There's actually painting in Varshana when Radha and Krishna are dressed as peacocks, and they danced as peacocks. It's very, very nice. So Vrindavan actually reminds one of Krishna, and not just reminds one of Krishna, but actually these are the places where Krishna walked. Imagine, Supreme Personality of Godhead walked there. This is like the most holy of the holiest places. And Lord Caitanya himself, he went to Vrindavan and he was in ecstatic mood, and he sent the Goswamis to rediscover the original Vrindavan. Some places of pastimes of Radha and Krishna, Lord Caitanya discovered himself personally. This is Radha Kund, Shyama Kund. Lord Caitanya went to this place, where is Radha Kund now, and he asked people, where is Radha Kund? And they did not know. And he said, there's 2 lakes. And he said, yeah, there are 2 ponds, very small ponds. So Lord Caitanya went there, and in his transcendental body, he understood, this is actually Radha Kund. And he was bathing there in great ecstasy, and all the villagers were looking, what is this sadhu doing bathing in a little pond, But this was actually original Radha Kund and Shyama Kund. Later on, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entrusted his disciples, particularly Raghunath Das Goswami, who was sitting at the banks of Radha Kunda and chanting continuously. Raghunath Das Goswami he had a desire to make it nice for us, to make it proper. Because again, the Shudras, you have to give them some magnificent, then they will say, oh, this is wonderful. As when we had a temple in Mayapur, normal temple, all right. But now we have this huge thing, and I'm sure there will be thousands of people every day coming. Now it's already thousands. I think there will be tens and thousands. Actually, I remember in 25 years ago, I was in Janmashtami in Mumbai temple, in Juhu Beach. At that time, in 3 days' time, they calculated 3 million visitors. 3 million, that time. Imagine how many people now. Mayapur. So Lord Chaitanya, Raghunath Goswami also thought, I will make it nice so the people can come and take advantage of Radha Kund. It is described in the Upadeshamrita, Nectar of Instruction by Rupa Goswami, that one who bathes and do service in banks of Radha Kunda is the most fortunate person in the universe. So Raghunath was thinking, but then what can you do? You don't have money, you're a sadhu sitting there in one coop, and so he was just desiring this. And then one rich man went to, pilgrimage. He went to the north in the Himalayas, and he went to see the cave of Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva was living in Himalayas, in Badarikashram. So he went there, and he said, my dear Lord, Badri Narayan, I want to build temple for you. And then, at night, the Lord appeared to him in dream, and he said, actually, if you want to give some donation, go to Vrindavan, and there's one sadhu in such and such place. His name is Raghunath. Ask him what to do with your money. So the man came, he saw Raghunath, and Raghunath says, yeah, you can build the stairs in Radhakund. The original Radhakund was very small, something like this, maybe half a temple room, or something even more smaller. This is the original size of the Radhakund and Shyamakund. And he made it bigger as it is now. And then he made it square, Radhakund. They wanted to make square also Shyamakund. But there were some trees there. So they were thinking we should cut these trees, every builder thinks like, let's cut the trees. And then at night, Yudhishthir came to this person in dream and he said, actually, this is our original form. There was 5 trees. We live in this Shyamakunda eternally, we reside here, don't cut us. So the person said, oh, okay. So therefore Shyamakunda is like square, but there's a little, cut the edge because there's 5 trees with there. Nowadays there's only 1 tree left, and this is in very, they're supported by the sticks or whatever. There's some metal thing because it's all very old tree, 5,000 years old tree. So Lord Chaitanya rediscovered Radhakund and Shyamakund. Interestingly enough, I saw the book, actually small booklet, how Jiva Goswami was very, although he was a sadhu, like Raghunath Goswami was a sadhu, and Jiva Goswami was also sadhu, but he was also smart, materially smart. He said, I will actually buy this land, not just like he actually bought Radhakunda. And there's a deed, the contract. This is to confirm that Jiva Goswami paid for this Radhakund and Shyamakund, whatever rupees, He actually bought Radhakund and Shyamakund. It's very smart, And therefore we see that Prabhupada also, as soon as he came to America to preach, he bought things, he bought buildings, he bought farms. And somehow after it was not so. Even nowadays, of course, we don't have as much money and everything is more expensive, but we should follow in this. As soon as we have money or somebody offers us donation, we should not take it for ourselves, we should give it to Krishna. Because we can, enjoy the benefits for 3 months or 6 months, but if you actually give to Krishna, if you buy land for Krishna, if you buy a building for Krishna, this will be to the eternal benefit to everybody, not just to you, but so many people will come to take Krishna consciousness. So, rediscovered Vrindavan. Let's see what else we have here. I have so many notes, this is too much. Another thing which is very, very good is this verse from the Bhagavad Gita. Stita pragyasya kabasa samadhi stasya keshava stita di kim pravaseta kim asita vrajeta kim. Arjuna asked Krishna, what is the symptom of one whose consciousness is merged in transcendence? Meaning, what is the symptom of a pure devotee? What is it, Arjuna, and this is such a good question actually, because we also speak about devotees, pure devotee, but what is actually pure devotee? What is a pure devotee? How does he, so Arjuna asked, how does he sit? How does he speak? How does he walk? Meaning, what is he doing? Well, I thought this is such a nice question. And Lord Chaitanya, electricity is gone. Lord Chaitanya exemplifies. Hare Krishna. Hare is back. He's back. Hare. Our battery is back. Battery is key. Hare Krishna. Lord Chaitanya exemplifies this perfect person. Whatever he did was actually person. So he not only preached, but he behaved. So this is something we also try to, so we should not forget ever that we should not only preach, but we actually have to preach by our example, which is not easy. It's nice to speak, from the Shastra, but to actually behave. We were speaking recently somewhere in Cologne about wood, anger, And they say, devotee, how do we deal with anger? One devotee said, I'm dealing this and that. So we all deal with these bad qualities. lust, anger, greed, illusion, madness, envy. Envy. We heard the last Sylvester, New Year's Eve here, Maharaj was speaking about envy. It's not easy to not be envious. We think we are not envious, but are we really not envious? So we have to deal with all these bad qualities, first of all for us, to purify them, but also to preach to people, to present. We cannot be envious or angry. As I said this story, that new Bhakta distributed 90 books, and his book, and Sankirtan leader said, "This is Maya. You cannot distribute more books than me. This is not proper." There's envy. We should not be envious, or we should not be, angry or lusty. Or we all deal with all this, and we have to deal with it. Hare Krishna. So again, we are not expected to be pure devotees tomorrow, but at least we should deal with it. And people should see, oh, this person is trying to do something for Krishna, trying to improve. This is important. Nobody expects us. Sometimes devotees think that we have to behave perfectly, or we don't need to behave perfectly, as I said yesterday. We have to also be human beings. So we are devotees, we are not robots, we are human beings, we are trying our best to follow this saintly example. That's what it is. I saw once, unfortunate example, one devotee, that was many, many years ago. He was reading some Puranas or something, and I don't know what books he was reading, and he was thinking that he should go to the bank of the Ganga and just drink water, just palmful, some austerity or something. And he made it like a couple of weeks, and then ambulance came to pick him up, bring him to the hospital. We cannot, and I was also telling the story. Whom did I tell story? I tried to sleep 4 hours when I was brahmachari, And I made it 2 weeks, and after 2 weeks I had to sleep 2 days continuously, 48 hours. We cannot imitate, and the point is not to imitate, but to actually following in the footsteps. Tatta karma pravartana. We follow in the footsteps of the saintly devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is another good point. Oh, another thing, very important thing by Lord Chaitanya is devotion to Guru. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so devoted to Ishvarapuri, when he would go to his village where Ishvarapuri was born, Lord Chaitanya would take the dirt from this village and keep it in a pot and eat it a little bit. This is the holy dirt. So much devotion to the Guru. So this is another thing. When Prabhupada was there, it was very easy. Guru, Prabhupada, Paramahamsa, and everybody follows. But after Prabhupada, there's also lots of, as they call it in English, mishaps or some difficulties. And some gurus even left. They were not gurus anymore. So devotees are starting doubting, and now there's a little bit of confusion currently. What is actually guru? I heard one lecture of Shivaran Swami, and he also says that devotees don't have really, most of the devotees don't have clear concept. What is a guru actually? And again, I have to repeat, the biggest, I think the number one issue we have to address currently is Shiksha Guru. A difference between the Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru, actually there is no difference. But we think there is, and this is, I think, quite big problem. And the movement, as long as we don't understand the position of Shiksha Guru, the movement cannot grow as much. Because, again, coming back to the empowerment, how many people can I initiate myself, But I empower people, then other people will also. And also, Shiksha Guru knows you. The Shiksha Guru doesn't need to have 6,000 disciples. He can have 6 or 5 or 1. I heard of one Baba in Radhakund. He was too much austerities. He chanted 192 rounds every day. He did 3 Govardhan Parikrams a day. He was wearing only kopan, but not from the cloth, but from this potato, this potato sack. Horrible. And he would eat once a day. He would beg from one house, and he would get 1 chapati. For 40 years. I mean, we are talking 40 years here. 3 parikrams and chanting, And he initiated 1 disciple only. 1. He had one disciple. It's just funny. I think I was at that time, he was 90 something, his disciple was 70 something. And he was sitting at the feet of Guru. So we don't need to have as many disciples. So therefore we need to, how to say, I don't want to say institute this or make a better understanding of Shiksha Guru. And then the movement will become more strong also. Anyways, this is some social thing. Guru is very, very important. Oh, another thing. But this is a little painful for me. I will just mention it. This is very painful for me. It's a devotion to his mother. Oh, this is too much. I cannot even speak about it. This is so sad. Not sad, but heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. I'm not going to stop. But he was so devoted to his mother, and his mother was devoted to him. I will not speak about this. Another thing is love for his devotees. Lord Chaitanya actually loved his devotees. It's not like he was sitting, okay, bring goods, bring foods, and he would eat, and he would just say, okay, now you can go. Lord Chaitanya loved his devotees so much that he would say, this is one of my favorite sentences. I read this sentence many times, and he said, there was a section in Chaitanya Charitamrita where Lord Chaitanya would glorify his devotees. And he would say, he is like this, and he is like this, and he is like this. And he said, about Vasudeva Datta, he said, Vasudeva Datta, I am only Vasudeva Datta's man. Lord Chaitanya said, I am his man. This is do this. My body is meant to please Vasudeva Datta, and he can sell me anywhere. Imagine that Krishna says, you can sell me anywhere you want. This is such a... So he had a very, very loving exchange with his devotees. Again, that means that Lord Chaitanya also maybe like us, We don't think that way, but maybe it is. What else? Another thing, interestingly, the Lord Chaitanya, not just that he actually, loved devotees, but he also took care of the devotees. We have this devotee care, which is a still kind of vague expression, devotee care. But devotee care here, Lord Chaitanya actually took care of people. Vasudeva Datta, for example, disciple of Lord Chaitanya, he was known as a, bad manager. He would just spend money. There's some devotees, the people like this, they just don't know how to do it with money. Of course nowadays, Kali Yuga, we all like, every penny we count, but some people just spend, they don't know. Of course, credit card this is the credit card, story. People just spend, because credit card you just click, Internet nowadays, you just buy now. Okay, I buy it, just arrives. You don't need to do anything, you don't need to go shop, you just, I like this, buy now. Credit card, sure. Max credit card, it's okay. That credit card, sure, Some people don't have a concept. And Lord Chaitanya himself, he realized that Vasudeva Datta is spending so much money. So he told Shivananda Sena, go to his house and manage his finances. I thought it was very, very interesting. The Lord Chaitanya himself, always in love of God, he made sure that his disciple is not, getting in trouble. In the story of Prabhupada was once in New Vrindavan. And the devotees came and followed Prabhupada. And one Mataji came. There was winter time, similar to this outside. And it says that 1 degree, Yandelsburg 1 degree, feels like -3. I also feel like -3. And so Mataji came out in a little sari, and Prabhupada says to Kirtananda, why is she wearing only this? You should give a dress. Or you should get some jackets, whatever. You should get some cloth so the devotees don't freeze. I had a Sankirtan team. We were distributing books, but we were distributing books only in dhotis. And then, that was going on, and there was already September, October, a little windy, cold. And then once one brahmachari came back and he said, I met one very old woman. And she came to me and she said, tell whoever is in charge of you boys to buy you some clothes. So I thought, well, Krishna telling us something, I guess. So we bought jackets for everybody, nice boots, and So Krishna speaks like Krishna cares for the devotees. All right. There's so many things. I think it's enough. Huh? It's enough for now.
Maybe a little bit more about care.
Yeah. Okay.
So you said that we have to try to not imitate but follow the footsteps.
Yes.
So what's the difference and how do we make sure that we're following footsteps and not?
Okay, maybe you can repeat on the mic. Oh, there's no mic. Okay, I will repeat it here. I'll repeat it here. She's asking a question. We should not imitate, but we should follow in the footsteps. How do we follow in the footsteps? Like, for example, in the Bhagavad Gita, there's a verse, it is explained that one should be moderate in eating, sleeping, and recreation. And Prabhupada in the purport says, the ideal example of this moderation is Rupa Goswami. He slept only 2 hours. I was like, so this is moderate, being moderate, only 2 hours to sleep. So when you see Rupa Goswami, if you don't try to imitate Rupa Goswami, we can try, but it's not going to work. You know, I tried, but we should follow in the footsteps, except in the mood of Rupa Goswami of renunciation. For example, we should not. When I see something, you know, I don't know, second cake is coming, and I should think, okay, that's enough. You know. For example, I'm exaggerating, but we should not take it. We should not. We should accept the mood of this person. Like, for example, if you see here, Lord Chaitanya cared for his devotees, so we should not be careless. We may not tell, okay, Balaram, what is your finances now? Tell me, you know. But if you see there's some difficulty, we should help this person, even materially. You know, not that we think, oh, this is material. You know, no, we also help devotees. You know, in any way possible. Sometimes, some temples, for example, they save the money of the brahmacharis. That was before. When they distribute books, they take certain percentage aside. I mean, this brahmachari wants to get married, then you just come up with, okay, this is for you. You know, I actually did this for one brahmachari. I don't want to say his name, but I actually, I bought some, whatever he was collecting, something. Anyways, a long story. I don't want to brag, but and I gave him money. So when he became grihasta, you have some money. Because when you want to become a grihasta, you come from the life of a complete poverty, utter poverty, sleeping on the floor, eating whatever they give it to you, yelling at you half of the day, And then you have to be responsible householder, earning money. How do you do this? For me, that was very, very difficult, wasn't it? I don't know for you. You suddenly become, I was 17 years brahmachari, suddenly I have to earn money. How do you do this, And suddenly what happened to the preaching? Because you were preaching, and suddenly you have to maintain your life, have family life, you have a wife. So we have to, this is the principle. Material life. And it was very nice, I must say this, is not here, Gaura Mohan. Gaura Mohan was in some place, we were getting married, me and my wife, in Berlin. And Gaura Mohan was taking his time to travel, I don't know how many, 5 hours, to come to our wedding, And I thought, wow, this is very nice. Because not only, I don't know, was he? He was a child, I don't know. Or maybe he was still a child, I don't remember. Oh no, he was maybe a brahmachari at that time. He grew up as a devotee, so I don't know. Brahmachari, I guess. Or maybe he was a brahmachari. I'm not sure if he was a brahmachari at that time. But no, he was a brahmachari. It's true. He was with Sadhuja's party. So he was a brahmachari. He came to our wedding, and I told him this because I had this realization that this is also Krishna consciousness. It's not like this is material, and this is spiritual, and I don't, shun this thing. This is nonsense, No, this is also part, and this is what is called Varnashram Dharma. Varnashram Dharma means that we care for people in this world, with the aim to actually get spiritual benefits. Not that we just, bring poor people jackets and, No, we actually help people to situate them properly, that they can live normal life, so they can properly practice spiritual life. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati called this Daivi Varnashram. Not ordinary Varnashram, but Daivi Varnashram. So we should also understand this. Of course, we should not get too much into material. If you get too much into material, So therefore always has to be balance. In the 80s, 70s, there was the other side. Everything is Maya, 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 just sleeping on the floor, going 17 hours to sit reading books in the cold and rain. And then everybody get married, and everything, and then brahmachari is Maya. Everything, temple is Maya, you know. So now we have a kind of an kitri mixture of everything. But I think slowly we have to kind of make the distinction. This is spiritual, this is material, and to make some kind of balance that both are met. Because without, for example, without money, let me just brag a little bit. Without money, the community cannot sustain themselves. You know, you have to have a, like for example, there are some communities, I don't want to say where, and because the main, the devotee, see a Golokadam, for example, there's a business there. So devotees living there because they can work there, you know. So there's some kind of something that devotees can actually function in the material world. At the same time, they don't need to work for, you know, karmis. They can work for devotees, and they can also say Hari Bol during the work, but still earn some money. So I think this has to be balanced. Okay, you can go on. You cooking? Oh, Hare Krishna. Okay, any other question? Yes. I can repeat it, or I don't know, whatever.
Well, you said yesterday, can I ask you about yesterday, yes, right? You say that devotees, if they have some emotions because of the feelings, they don't have to stop the feelings. Well,
Yes.
if you want to cry, you have to cry. If you want to anything, but for example, if I can't chant holy names because I'm crying, and because I have a feelings, so because of that feelings, I can chant, and so that's why I'm just block these emotions and try to chant. Should I continue to cry or what?
If you are alone in the room, yes.
But
If you are among the other devotees, no.
okay,
Because again, this is what Lord Caitanya did. Lord Caitanya did not speak about Radha and Krishna in public. He spoke in Gambhira with Sarup Damodar, Ramananda Roy, his very close associates. He spoke about Radharani's feeling towards Krishna. But they said during the night. And in the morning, he said, when the devotees would come, especially from Bengal, he said, Lord Caitanya restrained himself. So in the public, we restrain ourselves.
but when I'm alone, I can do.
When you're alone, you can roll on the ground, you know, destroy the furniture, whatever you like. Because Pundarik Vidyanidhi, when he got in ecstasy, he was destroying everything, throwing things. So most welcome, you know, but not in public. Because otherwise, you know, we have to follow some kind of social codes. Otherwise, you know, if everybody would roll on the ground, it would probably interesting scene, make a nice video, you know. Welcome to ISKCON Simhachalam. Everybody's like, oh, good, no, rolling, you know. You too can achieve love of God, you know. We don't do this. But in your own private time, you can do, you know, of course, you know, many times Prabhupada could not contain himself, a few times. There's one instance in Atlanta. I was in Atlanta, these deities, Gonitai deities, he could not continue anymore. He was just stunned. And once in Venezuela, I was in these very small deities of Gonitai, Prabhupada, like this. Very interesting, like very squarey, kind of strong. And Prabhupada brought this deity to Venezuela. He brought his Gonitais. And he started singing and he could not sing anymore. And so he could not restrain this emotion. But he said, he just said, chant. So the devotees start chanting. Restrain yourself in public and home, as anything you like, you know. And if you have a close friends that are on the same level as you can tell them all these things. Oh, Krishna, and this and that, and I stole the laddu, whatever you want to, whatever, you know. But we don't, in public, we try not to display emotions. Of course, when we're sweaty in kirtan, this is a different story. And also, we don't speak to the new people. This is one of the offenses. instruct a faithless person about the glories of the fallen name. We just say, oh, I cried for Krishna. People think, oh, really? It's another religious fanatic.
But in the case, if only they will ask you about Krishna, right?
Sorry?
In case you can tell them about Krishna if they are wondering about him, right?
Yeah, you speak, as Prabhupada spoke, the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, explain that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavad Gita, all these things is nice. We have two lives. One is external life, one is internal life. Sometimes they overlap, but mostly they stay separate. And he said, there's this verse saying, Vaishnavera kriya mudra vigyehana bujaya. Nobody can understand the mind of a Vaishnava. If you read this book by Bhakti Vikas Swami called Vamshidas Babaji, this is the most unusual devotee of all times. The way he externally behaved, you think this is like a madman, complete madman. In the middle of the night, he would just stand up and walk. No aim, just walking. So they follow Maharaj, and he would just walk. Or he would have these deities. And he would have deities of Gaura and deities of Radha and Krishna. And then once he would go somewhere, he would come back, and then a cow came to the tent and made a mess, cow make a mess. And he came and he saw this mess and he started yelling at Nityananda. He said, "You, what did you do? Why did you make this mess? I told you. And for this I will punish you. You will get no food today." And all the devotees were like, Maharaj, this cow, But he saw differently. And then he offered usually he offers 2 bowls, and he offered 1 bowl to Caitanya. For Nityananda, he didn't give him food there. What's going on in his mind, we don't know. So that's why we should, also be careful to don't pretend to be something we are not. 2 lives, one internal, one external. And internal life is pushing the external life. Internal life is showing outwardly who we are. That was in a book called Jaya Dharma by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. There's a story, this one sannyasi, was a Mayavadi sannyasi, he became interested in bhakti, Krishna bhakti. He came to this Babaji and he became more and more interested. He started chanting and everything, and he accepted the personalism. And then he told Babaji, "Can I also wear clothes like you wear? Babaji Vesha and all these white clothes." And Babaji said, "No, don't do anything artificial. If it's in your heart, then it will manifest externally sooner or later." So this is the point. We have to cultivate our heart, and this will manifest to our external activities. And our external activities will manifest to our heart also. So it goes both ways. Satisfying? Thank you. Anything else? Srivas Pandit, Prabhu.
I just thinking how is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time all devotees be unique.
Yes.
And we have a problem in our society don't want to show real self.
Uniqueness, our uniqueness.
Because must be like others.
Yes.
Must shaving, have same hair,
Yes.
same clothes. And I many years do like that,
Yes.
and I never be satisfied with that. And
Yes.
first time in my life, I just stopped to that.
Yes.
And just be myself. And many devotees have that problem.
Yes.
And how we can help?
Well, first of all, we dress certain way, or we shave, or whatever, because this was as Prabhupada offered. This is I was actually just reading, I deleted accidentally some really nice quotes of Prabhupada, who says why we should wear clothes, as we call it, devotional clothes. Of course, there's some other opinions, but and Prabhupada wanted us to wear this. As simple as that. That's why I'm not impressed. Actually, I don't like dhoti. To be honest, I don't like dhoti. Because every time I walk, somehow or other, this back of the dhoti catches either on a chair. I know this is a technical thing for the men. Either a chair or the doorknob. And I walk and it's, oh man, every time, So, but I'm wearing because Prabhupada wanted us to wear dhotis. I'm wearing dhoti. Simple as that. You know, shaving, okay, I don't have much hair, but, you know, shaving or whatever, beard. I shave because Prabhupada wanted me to shave. Prabhupada wanted us to, you know, there was a story, so Prabhupada says, there was a devotee who followed, I think there was Guru Das in Vrindavan. He wanted to, Bhavananda, he wanted to follow Chaturmasya, he grew a big beard. And Prabhupada says, no, you should shave the beard. Or Jayapataka Swami, actually, I think. Even Jayapataka Swami, I think there was his story. And Prabhupada says, no, you should shave. Vaishnavas shave. And he gave the example of Sanatana Goswami who had a beard, and the Lord Chaitanya asked him to shave. That's why we are dressed as we are dressed. That said, on the other hand, there are people who are as they are or as they were, and Prabhupada did not make much of a distinction. What is his name? Allen Ginsberg. You know Allen Ginsberg? You're too young. You don't know Allen Ginsberg. That was one of the reasons why I became a Hare Krishna devotee. Allen Ginsberg, this very great poet, you can say, beat generation of the 50s. And he was a wild person, you know, not following the principles at all, you can say. Had a long beard, but he came to Vrindavan in 1962. Before Prabhupada came to the West, he came to Vrindavan, and he met some Gaudiya Math devotees, and they taught him how to play harmonium. So when he had this poet night, he would sing Hare Krishna when he would come to America. So he actually brought the Hare Krishna mantra at the same time as Prabhupada came. And so on and so forth. And he immediately liked Prabhupada, and Prabhupada liked him, and he helped Prabhupada to get visa. This was a green card or something like this. So he was like a first, you can say, congregational member, you know, very strange person. But Prabhupada did not say, you know, you should do this, you should do that. So for different strokes for different blokes, but we can say in general, Prabhupada wanted devotees to dress this way. And that's what it is. There's no other, you know, psychological explanation or whatever, or this is one thing. Another thing is that we want to become uniformed. This is uniform in mind. This is something different, you know. We should be, as Prabhupada says, independently thoughtful. You know, we should come to conclusions to ourselves, which is aligned by Shastra and aligned by the Prabhupada. So that's what it is. I will wear this dhoti and kurta to the rest of my life because Prabhupada wanted me to wear it. My wife will wear sari because Prabhupada wanted her to, or not her, but to wear sari. Some others may not do this, and this is their rights. Nobody will shoot you or condemn you to hell or whatever, you know. But this is how it is. It's interesting, you know. We have on one way we are very strict, on the other way we are very open. And I think we have to come to this as again, we were in the 60s, 70s, 80s movement was very, very strict, you know, unbearably strict. In the 90s it was kind of unbearable. They were so heavy, and every mistake you make, you put this, I told you, and you cannot make any mistakes, you know. And then later on, now it's becoming so everything is good, all the philosophy, Mayavadi philosophy, quoting from Osho Rajneesh is all good, everything is good, you know. So I think if we find middle ground, that we are very strict, but at the same time, not very strict, we are extremely strict and extremely merciful. As I spoke to Bhakta Björn, what did I say at the end? Fanatisch, aber menschlich, yeah. To be fanatical but human. So this is, I think, the key. Fanatical but human. It's too kind of not possible to, but I think this is, if we find this key, how to actually become fanatical but human, then I think we'll be flourishing like anything. There's much more. I think it's 10 o'clock. Should we just call it, or I think? Any response? No? Balaram Prabhu.
On this topic, I just remember a story from Shyamasundar Prabhu. It's Shyamasundar, right? Prabhupada's disciple?
Yes.
And he's telling a story when George Harrison came to Prabhupada, and George Harrison was so much appreciative of Prabhupada, and he asked him, should I move in the temple maybe? And George
yes, and he said no.
He said no, you should just remain as you are.
Yeah, because what is the, why, I actually, when I was here, I turned few people, they wanted to join. And I told them, why would you do this to yourself? You have a nice living arrangement. You don't need to do this, Just come to the temple as often as you can. Be connected with some nowadays, the internet or whatever other ways to be connected. You don't need to. Not everybody needs to. And again, in the 90s, there was a competition who's going to make more devotees. This temple has a 12. Oh, I want to have a 14, whatever. It was just a little bit unhealthy, a little more unhealthy. But now I think we should be mature in our preaching. Not everybody should move to the temple. We should have a temple, temple life should be for people who actually want to practice, vairagya, renunciation, preachers who want to be, monks or whatever, renounced people who actually want to dedicate their lives. Not that we have to force them. How many times, as I was a temple president or whatever, and I had to force devotee to get up for Mangala Arati. And I remember one devotee was so much in Tamagun, and I said, why don't you? I said, why are you living in temple? Live outside. You can sleep until 10, and then come evening time for the program. So now I went to a temple, So every morning after same story, 4 o'clock, and he's like, oh, I'm sick. I said, no, you're not sick. You're just, lazy or whatever, So this is the point. We should engage people where they're at. We should not artificially force people to do something which they cannot do. An expert preacher, he should see this, This guy is not ready to live in the ashram. Or this guy maybe. And then you tell him, let's try. In German, there's something called Probezeit, We do Probezeit. And in Probezeit, when you get a job, isn't it, Probezeit? When you get a job, and first 3 months or 6 months, depends, they can kick you out, no reason, isn't it? Or you can tell them, I'm leaving, no reason. And after trial period, then still, you have a unbefristete Arbeitsvertrag, unbefristete Arbeitsvertrag. You have a, this is in German means limited working, what's Arbeitsvertrag? Huh? Work contract, limited. So they give you limited contract until the end of the year, for example. Befristete Arbeitsvertrag. And then after this, unbefristete means no limit, then they cannot kick you out anymore. Once you get unbefristet, then you have to, you have to do something really bad to kick you out. But as long as you have this Probezeit and befristete Arbeitsvertrag, there's always, they can say, we don't want to continue our Arbeitsvertrag anymore after New Year's Eve. And in this Probezeit, they can just tell you any day, I think you should go home. So I think we should have also something like this in the temple. Okay, I did this actually. Give you 3 months and check it out, if it's working for you or not. Or I usually give first 1 week. 1 week, then give 1 month and 3 months, and after 3 months, okay, then we make a contract. This was in Simhachalam. I make a verbal contract, shaking hands in front of the witness, and you have a contract to be a brahmachari for 1 year. Okay, if we make a contract, we shake hands, and then this person has to stay brahmachari 1 year, has to, because he promised, and after 1 year, then we revise. This is the befristete Arbeitsvertrag. Are you fit to live in a temple or not? When not, then just live outside. What's the harm of living outside? There's this now a little bit of a controversy, you can say. Bhaktivikas Swami, I must say it because this is in my heart, that he is reluctant to give Brahman initiation to people. He said, why would I give Brahman initiation to people who don't behave like Brahmanas? And it makes sense to me also. Why? Just to have a thread and your young devotee will say, oh, it's Brahman. Or I remember when I took Brahman initiation, there was, I was in Vrindavan and I was, doing so much service, this and that, and then my guru said, oh, just actually go and buy some bricks today and make a yagya, fire pit. We will have initiation. I said, oh, really nice. So who's going to get initiated? You. Oh, okay. This was my Brahman initiation. This was the old times. No Bhakti Shastri. I don't know nowadays what you have to have a Archana seminar, whatever you need to do is nowadays, I think it's nice to have Bhakti Shastri in Archana seminar. But the point is that if somebody is not a Brahminical person, there was sometimes, for example, I was recently also, a few years ago, one devotee got second initiation after 8 months. First initiation after less than a year, and second initiation after 8 months after. It's very, very soon. And as soon as this person got second initiation, that person left the movement. So why, Krishna consciousness is not a competition. We don't compete. That I show off now, I'm chanting Gayatri, or whatever. Or I have a name. Oh, my name is Balaram, Govinda, whatever my name is. I'm just humble servant, and Krishna knows, and of course we want to get initiated, we want to get serious. If you have a propensity to be a Brahmana, yeah, maybe I should, I should work, but I should develop the qualities of a Brahmana. Shama, Damas, Tapam, Shaucham, pure cleanliness, austerity, wisdom. You have to be learned, Then, just like in the Gurukula, they have like a kind of a test, Who is a, Kshatriya, who is a, by your nature. Then, according to your nature, you study. Not everybody is the same. Like this. So in that sense, then we are also. The point is to stay devotee for a long time. Those of us few of us who stayed so many years, 30, I was looking 32 years, this is such a long time. I never thought, but when I look how many people my generation left, completely, who were like shining superheroes, isn't it? Some amazing devotees. They're all gone, like gone from Krishna consciousness. Yeah. So better to actually think in a long, as they say in America, in a long haul. We have to carry something in a long, long time. 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. And in that way, it's better to be properly situated. This is my position, this is who I am. And then, according to my nature, I can function. Again, in a state of emergency, sometimes we do. But we cannot live all life in emergency. I did 17 years life of emergency, and it crashed. It crashed. You cannot live life of emergency to the rest of your life. You have to be who you are. Krishna somehow saved me. This is a different story, but we have to be who we are. And therefore, when we have a new people coming, we immediately see, okay, this person can be, this person cannot be. This person can come only to eat Sunday feast. We have one devotee I met in Berlin. Oh, I shouldn't say the city. Anyways, one city in Germany. It just came out. And I know him for many, many years, and he just come to eat on the Sunday feast, So someone may think, oh, he's just eating. Yeah, this is his devotional service. Hari Sori Prabhu, it was in the book, he said once, Prabhupada, we should restrict people. People are just coming, some people are just coming to eat. Eat here, we should, And Prabhupada says, don't be miserly. Don't be miserly, because Krishna will provide. So, sometimes we are, heavy, whatever, but we should not be miserly, because this is not our temple. This is not our temple. This is Krishna's temple. Like now I'm here a guest, If you were here five years ago, I would be telling you, do this, or do, So this is, and I see this also, okay, this is not my temple. I had a service, whatever my service was 5 years ago, or 7, whatever years ago. And now my service is different. But the temple is Krishna's temple. We are not, in this material world, we are not possessors. We are just observers, By the Krishna's grace, we are allowed to come to this temple, to see the deities, to speak about Lord Caitanya. We don't own the pastime of Krishna. Sometimes some devotees are very expert in narrating the leelas, But every time I speak about leela, I'm not criticizing these devotees, I'm just saying, every time I speak about leela, I'm thinking, this is not my leela. This is Lord Caitanya's leela. I have a somehow opportunity and mercy of Lord Caitanya that I can actually speak it. But these are not my pastimes, So at the same time, people give you honor sometimes, they give you garland or your senior devotee. In reality, we are all servants of Lord Chaitanya. We just have to somehow follow these external social customs. This is all it is. Kadambakaran Swami said once, really, really nice. He said, there was, I think, Vyasa Puja lecture, and he said, what is the difference between me and you? You are worshipping me here. I'm your guru. He said, the difference is I joined before you. He said, this is the only difference. Of course, this is his humility, of course. But this is the point. I joined little earlier. That's all. Like we who are here 30 years in the movement, what is our exceptional devotional service? We just stayed. This is all what I think. We're just still around. Find a way. Exactly. Find somewhere way to stay, and that's it. By default, you become a senior devotee. By default, that's all. So in this way, we follow in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya, and don't imitate. Don't imitate the devotees. Don't imitate. Sometimes imitation is good. In the 70s, devotees, see these pictures. Devotees had this hat, Prabhupada hat. It is. Who needs this hat? Isn't it? Maybe in Russia they have this. This with the fur of the animal. This. But in the West, who needs this hat? But Prabhupada wore the hat, so all the devotees wear chadar also. I actually don't like chadars. Some or other. I don't know why am I wearing this. But somehow seem like you're a more serious devotee. If you're a chadar. Before I was always wearing jacket, whatever, T-shirt. So then some devotees told me, now you're a senior preacher, you're traveling, you should not wear T-shirt. I said, okay, So I'm wearing now kurtas and chadar to look like I'm a serious devotee. It's ridiculous. It's actually ridiculous, That I was thinking, I remember when in my brahmachari ashram, I don't allow brahmacharis to wear chadar, Just be normal, just wear, You want to say something?
One time ask Shukadeva Goswami how proper to have clothes. Here,
You ask me?
Yeah.
Because he's walking
Yes,
without
yes.
clothes.
But these all external things also, it looks good. You look like when you sit on Vyasa's garland and he must be something, he wears chadar, he's very advanced devotee wearing chadar. Anyways. Noch was? Should I stop? Again, should I stop or should I keep on? Huh? Who is for stopping? Lift up your hand. Okay. Who is for stopping? Lift up your hand. Who is for continuing? Okay, Mehrheit. Yes.
Hare Krishna. You talked about empowerment.
Yes.
And this topic was on my mind and the mind of the devotees. I mean, this was in discussion a period ago. So we have our culture that we have Prabhupada's mode of empowerment. Prabhupada is sitting Paramahamsa and he's hearing his disciples just know Krishna consciousness since a couple of months or a couple of years, and
he
he's
gives them
hearing
sannyas.
So there is this mode of Prabhupada, and then we have the culture, the Vedic culture, that only seniors should do everything. Only initiated devotee or senior devotee or the oldest devotee only gets to do the arati, to sing, to lead, to be in the front and lead. But then on this price or following this culture, there is no empowerment happening. So sometimes it's sad to see, like, let's say junior bhaktas or junior devotees or females, for example, they have the capability to sing, to lead, to do the service better than some, let's say, but still they are not being empowered because of following this culture.
Yes. So the answer is yes.
It's not a question. Yes,
I know,
no
but
question,
that's
what
what
are
I'm
your
saying. The
thoughts?
answer, there's no question. The answer is yes. We have to, as it said, fanatisch, aber menschlich. We have to follow strictly Vedic culture, of course. At the same time, we have to, understand first of all, to see the mood of Prabhupada and understand the Desha Kala Patra, the time, place, and circumstances. You have to understand this. If you go to India, the temples are so organized, you cannot breathe basically there. Outside of, there's a system, is so heavy that if you just pull your head a little bit out, you are getting killed, you know. I'm exaggerating. Because they have this system, very strong system. Who is where, the position is very, it's like a machinery. But in the West, we still don't have this. Maybe we will never have it. Because we're a little more rebellious nature, rebellious minds. And and also people who come to our places, you cannot find in India. You know, some guy with the blue hair, with the big thing, earrings, and then he's, yeah, I was there, I did this man, and you know. So this kind of person cannot fit in machinery. So you have to, Prabhupada brought Gaudiya Math to America, but then he saw, these are different people, you know. So he just let them be who they are, but he, at the same time, he established actual Varnashram Dharma, beginning of the Varnashram Dharma. He did, brahmacharis, he told women to get married, you know, couples to get married, you know, so he established some kind of strictness, very strict. No illicit sex, I mean, this is no illicit sex, no gambling, no meat eating, no intoxication, heavy. But at the same time, he was also very, you can say, we call it merciful, you know, also very relaxed. So in the same way, the managers, it's up to the how do you say, aptitude, this is the word. Anybody knows the word aptitude? What is the word aptitude? Huh? Eignung, genau. The aptitude, the Eignung. According to one's Eignung, the manager sees, okay, I think this person, the temple president, every time I was a temple president or I was a leader, I see the bhaktas as a, I don't want to say like, you know, how do you call the höna, with the chicken, small chicken grows, you know. And you are like a big chicken mother, you know. So nice, not in an offensive way. But I see a bhakta and I see this person needs more space, you know. And then just give him space. But at the other I see that this person cannot make it on his own. So then you become more strict with him. And you just tell him, you follow. And, you know, some bhaktas, I told them what time to wake up. You go to bed at this time. And if it's 9 o'clock and I look at the watch, I said, go to bed, you know. And they go to bed, 3 o'clock, I wake up, I come and go 3 o'clock, wake up, chant around, sit there, you know. Some people need this. Some people don't need this at all. Some people don't need correction at all. I had the one bhakta, I never gave him any. He told me, you know, I was his leader, whatever, for many years. He said, never once you gave me instruction. He said, because I saw he's mature by himself. I don't need to tell him what to do, you know. So we follow strictly Varnashram Dharma, but at the same time, we are very attentive to see the personal needs. Fanatisch, aber menschlich. The same. And whatever, you know, we see this bhakta, because we don't know who that bhakta is in his past life. Maybe, you know, this bhakta will grow to be, of course, that basic training has to be there for everybody, really. Like people ask me sometimes, what do I think, you know, nowadays the topic is gay or whatever, you know, whatever varieties of this gender issues. And in America, there's quite a lot, you know. And I tell them, you know, actually, I don't care. I do not care what is your sexual orientation or whatever you think. You know, we have rules in the ashram, and if you want to live in the ashram, these are the rules you have to follow. And if you want to, you know, live differently, live in your house and come to the temple. You're welcome to come to the temple anytime from 4:30 a.m. until 8 o'clock in the evening. Only time you have to be outside of the temple is from 8 in the evening until 4 in the morning. Otherwise, you're welcome. You cannot sleep here. And you can do whatever you like. You're welcome to whoever you are. But if you want to live in ashram, you have to, these are our rules. No illicit sex, no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling. We have 2 ashrams, not 3 ashrams or 4. We have 2 ashrams. Brahmacharis, and we call it Brahmacharinis, Mataji ashram. And that's it. That's it. Huh? Yeah, you have to choose, you know. Of course, we don't put men in Mata because they, men, biological women in one side and biological men in one side. You may have whatever attraction, if it's bothering you, if you have an attraction for men to stay in brahmachari ashram, you see men taking shower, muscular brahmacharis, they just move out and live your life, and then come. And if you want to take initiation, you have to also follow some certain rules, recommendation or whatever. But otherwise, everybody's welcome. We are not welcoming people. But we have also, at the same time, certain rules that we don't compromise. We just don't compromise, and that's it. And therefore, this is a temple, and this is a congregation, for example. Of course, this is now a different story, developed in congregation. We cannot talk about this now. This is one thing. And another thing is that we have to also understand that different devotees, I don't want to say understand the mission of Lord Chaitanya in different ways. We have to respect the varieties of our thinking. For example, some people are very, very strict. Very strict. Some people are, we call it right-wing devotees, whatever. Some people are super left-wing, relaxed. We even have these devotees who are not wearing dhotis, whatever, or saris, because they think this outdated, whatever. So we have a wide spectrum of devotees who understand Prabhupada's mission in different ways. And we should go to the mission which we like, basically. This is not the end of the world if I don't like. And at the same time, the preachers or the leaders, they have to right to exercise what they think is right. That you cannot impose on me how should I do it. If I want to be conservative, you cannot tell me I shouldn't be conservative. You cannot. Because I want to be conservative. Because I'm convinced from Prabhupada's life, letters, instructions, that I should be a conservative devotee. So, no. But we can sit together and drink lassi, no problem, At the same way, if somebody is liberal, whatever, extremely, we would say, this is, if something is against the, instructions of Prabhupada or not in a, you can say, mood of Prabhupada, then we say, no, this is wrong. This is wrong. This is a deviation. But if something is at the borderline, then we just say, okay, Hare Krishna, respect him from a distance. This is your life, your choice. I don't need to like it. You cannot force me to like it, Something like this. So every manager should find out himself or herself. We have even women managers by default. Yeah. But I don't want this to become now like a social, ISKCON topics, I think let's keep it a Lord Chaitanya, but okay, one.
No, you mentioned very nice points, but then again you went to giving the extreme of maybe somebody is going outside the scope of 4 regulative principles, but we are still talking about following the regulative principles and trying to empower somebody. So meanwhile I have the experience while trying to empower somebody or give someone the service which is maybe a little bit out of our culture or not really strictly following the Vedic culture. Some, let's say, a group of devotees may find this improper or may get even offended. I mean, sorry, let me just give this simple example. We're standing for Guru Ashtaka and you're standing there and another younger devotee is standing. And then I ask the younger devotee, so if it was someone else except you, I know that he would have been offended, like, I am senior devotee here, why didn't you invite me to sing? So this is like
this
a very
is a touchy thing, I did this once festival here, I was the town president, and I let one junior devotee sing, and some senior devotees, Prabhupada disciples got offended, But I defended myself. I said, so I don't know, maybe I made offense, but I thought the time was at that time, I thought we should also empower younger generations also, not that they should always stay in the audience. This is one thing from my personal experience, that I'm sitting in the audience for the rest, 30 years I'm sitting in the audience. I don't want to sit in the audience anymore. Not because of arrogance or something, but you feel like you want to do something for Prabhupada. And I thought at that time, that this person could actually sing equally good, and because especially second generation, and this will be empowering him, inspiring to sing in front of all these serious devotees, that this person also gets some, how to say, inspiration to continue Krishna consciousness. I gave him to lead, and I gave this to, what is his name? I forgot his name. He was at that time 16 years old to do the Prabhupada's Arati. There was a during Chaturdashi festival, and I got very heavy chastisement. I said, I don't care. I don't care. I think I'm right. And I explained to him why, because this is 15 or 16. He should do the Arati because we should encourage next generations. Why not? And because there are other Aratiks also, But this is me. I'm ready to, or I invited one sannyasi, I don't want to say which one, to come to Simachalam, and my GVC was very much against it. And I said, I don't care. I'm a town president, but this is me, me as a person. Some other people are a little more maybe polite or cultured, I think that we should, the time has come, let's finish these social topics once and for all. But I think the time has come, it's past already, it was 2000, around year 2000 was the time. And now 20 years later, a little bit too late, but the time has come that the second generation or third generation or fifth generation start growing up, and actually taking over the movement. Because what the genius they have, like for example, I don't have this called computer world. I don't know this, I was once in Vrindavan, and I had some problem with my phone, and I could not solve it. And then I saw 2-3 young guys, Indian guys, and I know they're all IT, and I just said, "Can you help me?" And he just with one hand. He didn't even hold it, He just one hand with the thumb. Here. I was like, and for me it was the unsolvable problem, I mean, I'm not so dumb about computers. I know something, but this was, and he just did like this. Yeah. He kind of didn't even look at me, and continue talking. This guy. So what new generations have, we don't have. I don't have, So Prabhupada also, he saw these guys, at that time these hippies. They had some genius, So he let it fly. Just do it. Because we don't know. For example, there's one devotee in Bulgaria, Bhakta. And he was, I don't know now, but he was selling books on Facebook. And he sells every month, at that time, it was a few years ago, I was there, around, 1,000 whatever euros a month worth of books on Facebook. And he's not known, he's not a big Sankirtan hero. He just sits in his home and he's typing all day long, He found some system. You pay so much advertisement, of these books. He earns whatever money. He gives like 1/4 of it or 1/3 of it to the advertisement, and he comes back and he sells book all the time. I could never, I couldn't do this. He found a way. So that's what I'm saying. We should let people also grow. Let people empower people, and see where that leads us. Maybe we'll make mistake, but maybe not. It's up to the leader, how daring you are, how daring you. Some people are more, conservative in thinking, like, oh, this is, Some people are more experimental. I tend to be a little more experimental myself. But within the conservative circles, Fanatisch, aber menschlich. Prabhu. So I hope the kitchen devotees are not bored by us. We apologize. Huh? They put Kirtan probably, anyways. He's a boring guy.
I wanted to ask how the empowerment does work. And there's an example of Srila Prabhupada who went to Russia and then he empowered one devotee and he, I don't know exactly how it was, but I think it was, one...
He met Prabhupada Lava Matra, 1 part of a second, and then he became devotee and he started the whole movement. And Prabhupada indeed gave him initiation right there in the room. Again, no bananas, no coconut, just name. Yes, this is how it works. Empowerment works like this. Interestingly enough, empowerment works in the material world also. You know, some sportsmen, if you have a good trainer, coach, you can achieve all kinds. If you have a bad coach, you will fail. When I played football before I joined, and I had the coaches which were corrupt kind of. And I could not flourish. I could not flourish. By Krishna's mercy, of course. And some people are lucky. They get really good coach, and they actually empower the one to become some. And Krishna consciousness is even more so. Krishna empowers us, the devotees empower us to do things, and then we can do amazing things. Sometimes, in order to get empowered, you have to break off. This is another thing. Sometimes you just have to break off. Prabhupada broke off, Prabhupada was not a nasty person, He was even I read this letter, I studied this letter in 1950s and 1960s. Prabhupada was very much interested to work with Gaudiya Math. Even when he went to America, he wrote them letters. Can you please send me mridangas? Can you please send me some money we can rent? And Bhaktisiddhanta would be very pleased. Can you please, and he asked even Sridhar Swami, his godbrother, which is a very famous devotee, he asked him, would you like to take over Mayapur and become Acharya for Mayapur, to lead Mayapur project? So Prabhupada didn't think like, this is mine, He wanted mission to be, going on. And somehow or other, none of them responded. So he just carried on alone. So sometimes you have to break off to become empowered. Sometimes you have to be empowered by people, There are different ways. And we should pray to Krishna for the empowerment also. Please empower me. Give me intelligence, give me strength, How do I do this? Especially intelligence, for me, especially intelligence. How do I do this? Nowadays, these days, ISKCON is in such a crucial historical point, I think, that we have to figure out what is the next step, as I spoke earlier. This is like Prabhupada's movement was going on from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, and came to some kind of and now either we're going back or we are going to the next, how they have this perpetuum mobile or whatever, this metal balls, they go like, and then like this. So we came to this kind of peak that we have to fix our brain, text our brain, how to go on in Krishna consciousness, how to go on with preaching, how to go on with the temple, what is the meaning of the temple, what is the meaning of, because sometimes we just tend to do things, So therefore again, there are different people experiment in different ways. So some of the experiments can be good, some experiments can be bad, as long as it is within the confines of Prabhupada's, principles. We should say, okay. Yeah. Okay, this is the last social thing.
As Mahatma Prabhu have something very interesting that you doesn't know that you know. Is have codex with in Sattva. He's make company called Sattva, and devotees there have meetings and have rules how to deal with devotees. And we just take that in ISKCON Rijeka in Croatia and copy that, and just not copy at all, because we have 30 rules. We just take 10 for what is important for us, and just after that is creative, such a good energy, because we are really with that codex focus what important for us.
Yes.
And we have now 15 devotees who successfully cooperate, and that's maybe the way in the future to have a codex, how to speak with devotees, how to deal with devotees, how to respect devotees.
Yeah. At the same time, I in the history of ISKCON is anytime you try to impose something, it's usually doesn't work in the mass scale. Because people, again, very individualistic and very also puffed up, Westerners, much more puffed up. Like when I was in Pune, this Kartik, after Kartik, in ISKCON Pune, and there was 200 brahmacharis, and they dance exactly the same, Hare Krishna, with hands and legs, exactly the movements. I was thinking, I could not, I'm sorry, I cannot do this, I cannot do this. You can kill me. So I stood in back always during the programs. I cannot dance. This is not. I'm from where I'm from, and I grew up differently. I ate different food, and I cannot dance as you dance. I don't, But that said, this is who they are. Hare Krishna, I want to say Prabhupada didn't dance. Also, Prabhupada didn't dance like this. Prabhupada introduced Swami step. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So, okay, I can dance Swami step. Prabhupada introduced it. But these other things, this is their thing. I respect it with folded hands. But for me, I cannot do this. And I will, if some new devotees join, I cannot teach them to dance individually because this is not me. So in the same way, as I said, the people have different approaches to preaching or different, especially as this ISKCON becomes bigger and bigger, there will be more devotees with different ideas. And some devotees will accept the codex, some devotees will not accept. I cannot accept any codex. Sorry, I cannot. You cannot tell me to accept the codex. I cannot. It's my nature. I have this not so humble nature. But I can accept if, some philosophical point, if Prabhupada says something or Prabhupada did something, this I will accept anytime. This is me, something like this. So I think like this, the movement will grow in so many different, smaller fractions. But these fractions have to be united under one umbrella, the principles of Prabhupada. This has to be united in one umbrella. If we don't have this unition, then there'll be a problem. Then everybody becomes, just like Gaudiya Math, become guru in this ashram, with 10 devotees, you're guru in this ashram. But therefore we need ISKCON, all of us. So this ISKCON, also ISKCON has to be, the leaders of ISKCON has to be also a little broad-minded, not only to be either liberal or either conservative, but to actually be understanding this. Again, I heard this lecture, Bhakti Vikaswami, this is eye-opener for me. But he said, don't think that in the future there'll be some devotees who become more interested in Ram than in Krishna. I never thought about this. Isn't it? He said, some people will become more interested in Ram. And I was thinking, actually that's true. There must be some devotees in India who have in the heart Ram. And he said, how do you put them in your box, So, meaning if you become devotee of Ram, so there could be a different mantra for Ram or whatever, So, he looks probably like many thousands of years in the future, but I was thinking, actually this is, and what to speak of Christians, then I'm sure in the future there'll be some Christian Hare Krishnas. Who actually, if you're watching, who are you? I know. And who will actually worship Jesus Christ and be Hare Krishna devotees at the same time. I will not be surprised that in the future we have this, Yeah, so. Villa Vrindavan?
No, not Villa Vrindavan. New Vrindavan.
A new Vrindavan. No, it's okay. It's just. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes, so don't, who knows what else will come? Kali Yuga is full of surprises.
One lady who is leaving monastery, and chanting 16 hours.
Yeah. So, surprise. He's already joined, shaved up and everything. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. So in Goa or whatever, the South India or whatever. In southern, yeah, okay, okay, okay. Yes. Yeah, because there was a mixing of a culture was always there. For example, where is Bhakti Damodar Swarup, Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj from? What's the name of this state? Huh? Manipur, yes. In Manipur, they have their own flavor of Krishna Bhakti. They have different, you've seen the dances, they have different dress and everything. But they're still worshippers of Radha and Krishna, Manipuris. So I think it's like this. Anyways, I think this is the end of the... But it's also part of Chaitanya's movement, actually. It is a part of Chaitanya's movement. Main, I don't want to say my main concern or my main, you can say, idea is, in my future preaching, is that this is all wonderful, but we should never stray from Prabhupada's teachings. And therefore, I take this as one of my missions to actually speak about Prabhupada and, narrate what Prabhupada actually wanted and how he wanted. And this should be never forgotten. Prabhupada, because he's our immediate acharya. We read Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur or whatever, commentaries, Sattika or Ashtatika, whatever, commentaries to Bhagavatam. But our opinion, final opinion is Prabhupada. So therefore we should read Prabhupada's letters, very important. Some devotees don't think, but I think they're very, very important. Because in Prabhupada's letters you see how Prabhupada dealt with the situation. And we should read Prabhupada's books, and we should read Prabhupada's conversations, and Prabhupada's morning walks. Because in these morning walks, he was a little more informal, and you see how Prabhupada thinks. I think it's important for devotees to learn or remember how Prabhupada was thinking, and what kind of ideas Prabhupada had about the movement, about the philosophy, and the application of philosophy and so on. So there's no enough words to emphasize how important it is to read Prabhupada's books. Nowadays we have so many yugas, but Prabhupada's books is as a main shiksha. And then the others, there's so many others also, and these are the supplements, like we have Puranas and Upapuranas, supplements to the main, Upavedas, we have Samhitas, whatever, this Upanishads, whatever this, but the main thing is the Veda. Some Upanishads are parts of the Vedas, anyways. So like this, there should be one light and many small lights around. All right, I think this is finished with this topic. So, anything else? But not social topics. Yes, Prabhu.
What other notes you have from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?
I'm sorry?
What other notes you have?
I have so many notes. Don't ask me. So many notes. Next note is about prasadam. But I don't know if this is good to talk about this right now. Actually, I was thinking, but this maybe, I mentioned this a few times, but maybe with you we can arrange Monday, if Krishna desires. Because we have so many retreats. We have a Harinam retreat, we have a Sadhana retreat. I was thinking, why don't we have Prasadam retreat? No, but to have an actual retreat, to invite people, to invite guests. We have a tag that often as two, that we invite people to actually, we have a Prasadam festival. Then we actually cook, and then, just like we have a retreat, we give lectures on prasadam, we taste the prasadam, we learn how to cook prasadam. Like everything what you do, like a workshop, you do chanting the holy name. So we can do this. Govinda Dev, let's think about this. Yeah, we can invite some special, excellent cooks or whatever, to cook nice prasadam. And then we invite people and preach to them. What is actually prasadam? What is the difference between prasadam and non-prasadam? Like this. Prasadam retreat, ki jai. So Lord Chaitanya, prasadam is very important. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, many times mentioned prasadam. Many times. One of the biggest is Madhavendra Puri, story of Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri, they discovered the deity of Gopal. The Gopal came to him when Madhavendra Puri was fasting. This is a very, Madhavendra Puri is an amazing personality. And this is what Prabhupada says, difference between Parivrajaka and Paramahamsa, one of the differences. And one of the differences is that Paramahamsa does not ask for prasadam. He waits that Krishna brings it. This is a hardcore. This is a real hardcore. Imagine you sit and you're starving and you just, no. If Krishna offers, I'll eat it. If he doesn't, I won't. This is a hardcore thing, you know. And this is what Madhavendra did. He just goes somewhere and he fasts. Paramahamsa. But you can say psychologically, what is the significance of this is that Paramahamsa depends on Krishna for everything. Everything. This is because eating is there's a bedürfnisse, but how there are levels of these needs, and this is the basic, essential needs. This is like a breathing air, eating food. This is essential water. So this is an essential need of every human being. And Madhavendra Puri, even this essential, I offer it to Krishna. This is a very much. You have to really, really have a faith that Krishna exists to do this. He said, okay, I'm not eating until Krishna gives. And once he was fasting, not fasting, waiting for Krishna if he gives or not. And then Krishna came and he came to him and he said, Are Baba, what are you fasting? This is, you know this village? This Govardhan village, Anior, you know. In my village, nobody fasts here. And Madhavendra was like, okay. He said, I brought you this glass of milk. We just milk the cows, fresh milk, you know. And just don't fast, you know. And Madhavendra drank the milk and he realized after the boy left, he realized, wow, this was actually Krishna. I didn't recognize him. He became ecstatic, whatever. Then he went to sleep, whatever. He was sleeping half an hour, 1 hour. And in the dream, the deity of Gopal came, Krishna. This deity now is in Rajasthan, in a city called Natadvar. This is a Nataji. They call it Nataji, but his actual original name is Gopal. And that this deity said, I am buried in such and such place because the Muslims invaders came and the devotees have to hide me. They buried me under the ground. But I'm so hot, you know, when you're underground, I guess it's hot, you know, no air. So can you please unearth me and, you know, care for me? So Madhavendra went to this place. He gathered all these villages. They pick up the deities out. And they did amazing abhishek, all kinds of buckets and buckets of water. They smeared the oil. The deities became glossy. And then what happened? Everybody brought food to offer to Krishna. And this resembled the Anukut ceremony when Krishna was present 5,000 years back. So everybody brought all kinds of, they said the rice were as big as mountains, you know, mountains of rice and different preparations, various nice things, which we don't want to talk about. It's fasting day. And then, and they said, Lord ate all of it, you know. And then Lord ate all of it, and by His mercy, He returned everything to His devotees. There's some stories, of course. Was it Raghava Pandit? Or what is his name? Raghunandan Thakur. He had a son who was very, very young, 5-6 years old. So he told his son, I have to go right now. I cooked this offering, give it to the deities, and the deities have to eat it, and then, then we can eat prasadam when I come back. So then he came back, there was no prasadam left. And he said, what happened? He said, well, you told me to give it to the deities, to eat it, and deities ate it. So what do you mean deities ate it? Child, children sometimes, they take it literally what you say. And they said, but what really happened is the child offered this plate to Krishna, and Krishna was standing there playing flute. And the child said, eat it, child. And Krishna was nodding. He said, eat it, my father will be very angry if you don't eat it. He told me that you have to eat it. So the Krishna said, okay, if you insist, child was very insist, so he ate it, So then when father came, he was shocked and food is not there. So they said, really? He said, yeah. So then father wanted to check it out again. So father went out. Again, he said, I have to go, you offer it, make sure that Krishna eats it. And then father was hiding. And he was watching, and the child came and offered it, and he said, eat it! Which is, I thought, very nice. This is a spontaneous, loving offering. And Krishna said, I cannot eat it. Let's just eat it, my father will be angry. So Krishna ate it. And father saw this, he was very amazed. So prasadam is very important. And another very, very important thing is, so many stories about prasadam. Raghavera Jali, the bag of Raghava Pandit. Anybody from Bengal? You're from India? Which part? You're from Delhi. Bengali you speak a little bit? No. Jali or the Jala? What is the bag? Jola. So it's Jola, okay. Probably Bengali is the same, Joli or whatever. So Raghavera Pandit's bag. And this description, when you read this, you feel like you eat all these ingredients. The Raghava Pandit, every year, once a year, they come from Bengal to Puri, and Raghava's wife cooks amazing preparations. And they bring it to Lord Chaitanya. And they said there's so much food that Lord Chaitanya cannot eat it all, so he stores it in one room. And other devotees from Bengal, they also bring prasadam. And there's one room just for prasadam to storage. And Lord Chaitanya keeps this, and this prasadam never goes off. In this whole year. So Lord Chaitanya just go from time to time and snacks a little bit, And this stays fresh by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. And this Raghavera Pandit's bags, amazing, all these preparations, and this one, and sukta, and this and that, and milk preparations, and fried, and Prabhupada says at the end of these wonderful narrations of different preparations, he said, our devotees should note these preparations and make a cookbook. And we should cook these recipes, So far, has not been done. But prasadam is so important. In Jagannath Puri, Lord Chaitanya's devotees did two things basically. They ate prasadam and they danced. That's about it. And then after they dance, they become tired. They go take bath either in the sea, and they come back and eat some prasadam. That's the mission that's the Lord Chaitanya's movement. If you go to Jagannath Puri, it says that Lord Jagannath, actually, this is the process for making spiritual advancement in Kali Yuga. Lord Jagannath's prasadam, eating. That's it. You just have to eat Jagannath prasadam. That's the process. In Mayapur, you have to move your mouth to chant, and in Puri, you have to move your mouth to chew. That's the process of spiritual realization. Not bad. Prasadam. Oh, there's another one about prasadam, talking about prasadam. This very nice book by Tamal Krishna Goswami, Servant of the Servant. And there, now Tamal Krishna Maharaj narrates when the Radha Damodar traveled in Sankirtan brahmacharis. At that time they had, 100 brahmacharis, very heavy duty brahmacharis. And these brahmacharis, on winter time, they would go south to Florida. Florida is good weather. And they would go to this temple, Gainesville. And the temple president would receive them and he said, we are known as the best, we have the best prasadam in ISKCON. But I know your brahmacharis are weak. They cannot tolerate to eat how much we can cook. And Tamal Krishna Goswami said, we came to your temple. We are hoping we'll fill our bellies. But I think we will leave hungry from here. Because I'm sure you cannot cook as much as we can eat. So there was a fight, So these devotees cooked unbelievable amount of food. And brahmacharis ate all of it. And there's a description, page after page after page. This prep and that prep and this prep and that prep. And amazing, And they ate everything, And in the end, everybody was laying on the ground, laughing in ecstasy. And then they decided both are winners, both sides are the winners. The cooks are the winners, and the brahmacharis are the winners. So prasadam is very important in our International Society of Krishna Consciousness. Bhattacharya, when Lord Chaitanya was converting Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and Sarvabhauma was very strict follower of Vedic principles and everything. So in the dream, Krishna came to him, Lord Chaitanya came to him and he said, I'm actually Krishna. I came to actually deliver you. So Sarvabhauma was like, and then he was sleeping in this dream, he saw Krishna and then realized who Lord Chaitanya is. And then he heard knocking on the door. So he just got up, in pajamas, whatever he was sleeping in, opened the door, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was on the door. And he said, my dear Bhattacharya, I brought you some Mahaprasadam. And Bhattacharya, they said here, Bhattacharya said, one should eat Mahaprasadam of the Lord immediately upon receiving it, even though it is dried up, stale, or brought up from a distant country. One should consider neither time nor place. The prasadam of Lord Krishna should be eaten as soon as it is received. Should be no hesitation. There are no regulatory principles concerning time and place. This is the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because the standard rules, you cannot eat, you cannot do anything until you showered first, put new clothes. That's why we don't come to Mangalarti with a sandwich, and look at this, it's very nice, we eat, We don't do this. We wake up, we shower, then we come to the programs. And then we eat when it's time to eat. But Bhattacharya learned from Lord Chaitanya, there's a higher principle, and higher principle is when the mercy of Krishna comes, you have to take it. Whether pure or impure or whatever the position is. Because Mahaprasadam is actually directly mercy of Krishna. So therefore although he was in unclean state, he ate Mahaprasadam. Yeah. So sometimes also, we sit somewhere and then somebody brings, this is from Jagannath Puri, immediately the devotees eat. Whatever you do, immediately we eat, because it's Mahaprasadam. It should be eaten immediately. It's also instruction, when you see Guru, you should take him initiation immediately, because you don't know. Maybe you will never see Guru in this lifetime anymore. If there's a bona fide Guru and you're a bona fide disciple, you should take initiation. Should not hesitate. Because you don't know. You never know. Earthquakes, the brick falls in your head, you're not initiated in this lifetime.
Where is this mentioned?
I can find it for you. I don't have such a mind to know exactly which shastra or the verse, but approximately. I don't know.
I trust you, but I want to keep it for myself.
Yes, I can find it for you if you want. One should take initiation immediately. I'll find it for you, I'll send you. What else I have here? Oh.
Prabhuji, can I ask?
Yes, Prabhu.
You mentioned to take the prasadam immediately.
Mahaprasad.
Mahaprasad.
Yes.
Accept it and then take it, but then when it is on the fast day or Ekadashi, then
We fast. We offer it, we eat the next day. Again, there's a higher principle. Ekadashi is a higher principle. Actually, there was this dispute in Vrindavan in the 1600 or so between Jiva Goswami and some other saintly devotee, Vaishnava. This saintly devotee Vaishnava was saying, although it's Ekadashi, if I receive Mahaprasadam grains, I should take it immediately because it's Mahaprasadam. It's an injunction of the Shastra. But Jiva Goswami said, no, Ekadashi should be honored first and Mahaprasadam can be eaten next day. This is Jiva Goswami's instruction. And he gives the example how important it is to follow Ekadashi. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita itself, Lord Chaitanya himself told his mother, you should follow. Mother said, what can I do for you, my dear Nima? And he said, promise me one thing. And she said, what? Promise me that you will from now on follow every Ekadashi. Don't eat grains on Ekadashi. So this is the instruction of Lord Chaitanya. So again, this was a dispute, actually, this very, very same topic. But our line, Jiva Goswami said we should take it, offer obeisances and keep until tomorrow, and tomorrow we take it. Yes, Prabhu.
Now we okay, sorry. You said one should, or you quoted that one should take the initiation directly, but Prabhupada also waited a long time. Could you speak about this? Yeah.
You know, this injunction or instruction is there to emphasize the importance of initiation. You know, in our ISKCON, we wait for 1 year, before, at least, until we get initiated. But the point is that we should not think like, oh, I can get initiated later. Prabhupada waited 11 years. I can wait 11 years, no problem. And then you leave movement and you never get initiated. You know. This was the point. It's emphasis. Sometimes the Shastric injunctions are to make a point how important it is. So it's important to get initiation. You know, Prabhupada, waited 11 years. Prabhupada waited 11 years. Yeah, but he got initiated. But the point is that we should not think like, I can do this later, or when I'm old, I can get initiated when I'm old. You don't know. Maybe you not become old. You know, maybe the bomb will fall tomorrow and then we're all dead, you know. But at least we initiated, we did some service in this life. So sometimes it's like this. You don't need to rush, of course, but at the same time, you should also consider, I should get initiated, you know. Why not? I have a chance. How many people don't have a chance to get initiation? How many? So many. Meaning I should be very serious about this. Yes.
But then also it's important which guru to take. It's not that just now I'm since 5 years in the movement and then I think it would be nice to be initiated and then when Swami comes and they take initiation, or how can I?
Sometimes yes. I advised one devotee. He was so mental, this is like a supreme mentalness, you know. And he wanted to take one guru, and then he was serving him and he found fault. I don't like him because he did this and this and that. I said, okay. Then he wanted another guru, and he traveled and he said, can I go to this place to spend some time with this guru? I said, okay. So he went there. And I think he changed 6 or 7 different gurus. Then he lived in India and he wanted another guru and another guru. And in the end, there was like a couple of years, I don't know, 5, 6 years. And he said, what do you think? And he asked everybody, which guru should I take? And somebody gives him advice and he doesn't follow, of course. And in the end, I told him, you know what, if I would be you, this is my final advice. There's a 28 gurus in the list. Close your eyes and put a finger on one name and take initiation from that person. And he ended up not getting initiated and he died, unfortunately. We pray for, he did lots of service, so I'm sure Krishna is merciful. And he did not get initiated. I listened to the lecture of Shivaram Swami recently, like a week ago, when I was con. And some devotees asked him, is it okay if you accept Guru as formality, but in my heart worship Prabhupada? And Maharaj said, yes. I was shocked, I was shocked. But then I was thinking later, meaning, I don't really want to get initiated by in the ISKCON Guru. Some of whatever reason, no faith or whatever. But I like Prabhupada. And he said, should I accept still ISKCON Guru just as a formality? And Maharaj said, yes. This was shocking for me. But then he elaborated. He said, it's actually, the reason is to stay in ISKCON. He said, whether you accept or to stay in ISKCON is such a powerful process. ISKCON offers such a powerful process. So to stay ISKCON itself is already, actually the goal of initiation at all is to actually stay in ISKCON and practice the process. So if you somehow, and he said, but you should tell your guru, I want to accept you as a formal. I was thinking, oh man, I don't know who can do this. But Maharaj this was very shocking revelation to me. But the reality is that Prabhupada offered this movement as a boat to go back to Godhead. So there's a verse, Yena tena prakarena mana Krishna niveshayet, sarva vidi nishedasyur etair eva kinkaram. This is the verse by Rupa Goswami, Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Prabhupada doesn't use this verse because he writes more. But this is the verse spoken by Rupa Goswami, who says, somehow or other we should think of Krishna. Sarva vidi, all the instructions of the Shastra, Sarva vidi nishedasyur, all the Shastras, instructions, there's so many instructions in Shastras. This is the innermost, the most important instruction. They are summarized in this one, think of Krishna. So if you think of Krishna, if your guru is somehow, not in your heart, but you worship Prabhupada, whatever, somehow or other, this was Maharaja's point, stay in ISKCON. Not because of the institution, but stay because of the process which ISKCON offers. And look at this now. Because we have institution, we have to pay the bills, temple president has to pay the bills, has to maintain the cars. This is all material, But because we maintain institution, therefore we can sing there in ecstasy. Otherwise we'll sit in the forest in front of a tree and like Dhruva Maharaj, we cannot do this. So yes, it's important to choose whom you like, but at the same time, it's not so important, because we're all in the same pot, ultimately. We're all in the ISKCON pot, led by the general cook, Srila Prabhupada. So yes and no. Of course, not just I take one guru, it doesn't matter, No, we should follow, again, fanatische menschlich. We should find which guru fits to my heart. And also Krishna send me sometimes guru that fits to my heart. And sometimes Krishna doesn't send me a guru to fits my heart. In my case, I had a guru who I kind of, sorry to say, didn't like in the beginning. I actually didn't like him, but somehow I saw Krishna brought me to him and I kind of accepted it. And later on proved to be the best thing I ever did in my life. I developed into a full-fledged, free-thinking individual who actually makes decisions for himself based on Prabhupada and his Shastras. And I'm still here, even here now, and I think this is because I chose this guru as my guru. Maybe if I would have another one, maybe I would be different, But sometimes Krishna doesn't send it. And in that case, you should just be practical. Be practical. Like when I got initiation, I did not, don't try this at home, but I was not like falling unconscious when I saw my guru. Do you still have downstairs, you're listening Kirtan?
Yes, no, I'm sorry?
Are you listening Kirtan downstairs or are you listening? Okay, so I can speak freely.
Sorry, I don't even.
Okay, good. So, but I choose my guru. You can, no problem. I will sit here for another whatever hours, if they let me, no.
Put back on online because the lectures on the YouTube
The lecture is not online anymore. Anyways, Hare Krishna. But I choose my guru. I know it's maybe, but this is what it is. This was the reality. There was a time I was living in Vrindavan. I was very, very mental. I'm not a mental person. I never was mental before. Before I joined, I know what I want, and kind of a little bit puffed up, and not a little bit, and then I came to the point that I became mental. I needed a guru. I felt I cannot make one step without guru. Amazing, I don't know anything happened to you like this, but I thought I have to have a guru. I have to. And I was thinking, which guru should I take? Should I take this guru? Because I was living in Vrindavan. This was terrible, Every week another guru comes, and you see all of them, and maybe I like this sannyasi better, or maybe I like him better. Sure, but then I speak to somebody. He's very nice to me, but So I had a list of 12 to choose. Which guru should I choose now? And I wrote to one of them, and he wrote to me, you will never come to the area where I'm preaching, so You're in Vrindavan, just stay in Vrindavan and take this guru you are with right now, you know. Then I wanted to take one guru. Maybe I should have, you know, but anyways. I like this guru very much, and he's a very, you know, famous devotee, and I felt that I have some connection with him, you know. But then again, when will I go to this country, I don't want to mention which one, communist country, now still, hint. So I thought, when will I go to there, and, you know, so I just don't, you know, but maybe I should, or maybe not. And then, listen to this, I mean, I'm not exaggerating. And I had a very good friend, Bhakta Rob, and he was from England. Very tough, you know, tough guy. And I like this kind of tough guys who he was, you know, fighting and his little scar here and there, you know. and then he said, you know, Sasha, we should take initiation from such and such person. And I said, I don't know. Let's just do it. And he used the phone and he called him. And he said, Haribol, me and Bhakta Sasha wonder if you will accept us as your disciples. And I said, what do you do? You know, I didn't want to. That's why Indian devotees, they cannot understand this, you know. Sorry, you know, everything is so organized for you, you know. For us, it was like a little wild. And he said, and he called the guru and he said, I want to take. I didn't say it, you know. And the guru said, okay, I accept you as disciples. Like, what are you doing, man? You know. But then, of course, I was praying to Krishna and I was thinking about this, and I thought, maybe this is Krishna's, you know, cutting down on my mentalness, you know. This is a good guru, good for you. But then I analyzed and I talked to some devotee later on. And this devotee told me just like this, who is taking care of you right now? And I said, this and this person. What is he doing for you? I said, well, he's giving me shelter, giving me service, giving me kind of spiritual nourishment. And he said, for how long? I said, well, 1 year already. So he said, so why would you look for somebody who doesn't offer you shelter? Who, you know, this person is already doing it. He's already your guru. You just don't see it. And I thought, it's actually true. You know, so I accepted this. I didn't accept it. I was forced somehow, but the will of the providence. It's funny, you know. But then later, in the beginning, it was difficult for me, you know, because it was not my mood, whatever. But then later on, because my mood was other mood, you know, European, book distribution, you know, this was, I wanted to be. But I was living in India, it's different, completely different atmosphere. And so I was going in book distribution in India on 45 degrees without drinking because this was Maya, whatever. You know. And then later on, I realized this was the best guru I could actually get for me. And now I see it. This is a special mercy of Krishna. So, yes, you can choose also blindly. You can choose he can appear in your dream and tell you, you know, Bhakta Bjorn S., I am your eternal spiritual master. Or you can just see what is practical. What is actually practical? Practical is I'm already living here, people taking care of me. You know, gurus, I can see guru regularly. This is also another thing. You know. Some people like, you know, guru, like your Guru Maharaj, has how many? 60,000 disciples probably? More? Near 60,000 disciples. People like it. I saw one article one devotee wrote, he said, can you imagine, so excited. We got initiated, our whole village was initiated by Maharaj. 3,000 devotees initiated in one go. And he was so excited about it, you know. Some people like it. Some people want more personal approach, you know, to talk to your guru all the time, write him letters. They accept a guru has 4 disciples, you know. We're all different. We all try to fit somehow, you know, in Krishna consciousness. And, you know, we should see also what is, do I fit with the mood of this guru? You know, nowadays they have different moods of the gurus. And some mood fit me, some mood does not fit me. And if it doesn't fit me, then I will say something which is my opinion, for example. And the guru said, no, this is, I don't agree with this. And then you disagree with your guru. This is terrible, you know. This is terrible. So think about this also. Do I agree with my guru? Look at how he listens to his lecture. Do I agree what he says? If I don't agree, don't take initiation. And some other person you may agree and you think like, wow, I should actually, this is the person I like to hear. Mood is very important. Yes.
What is if my mood changes and that's why I'm confused?
Sorry?
What if my mood changes and I'm confused because of that?
Then wait. Again, this is I have to quote Prabhu who says, one devotee asked him a question. Sometimes we're kicked by Maya, sometimes we're kicked by Krishna. How do I know? When am I kicked by Maya? And when am I kicked by Krishna? And Prabhu answered, as long as you ask this question, you're kicked by Maya. So if you're mental, just don't make this, because if you're mental, usually you make wrong decision, like 99%. 99%. So just don't make a decision. Nobody will kill you if you don't get initiated another year, you know. You still serve. And if it doesn't work, wait another year. And if it doesn't work, wait another year, but not longer. You know. If you wait 4 or 5 years, 4 or 5 years is already, you know, something's wrong with you. I'm just generalizing. But, you know, if you're not sure, don't do it. Just don't do it. You're chanting, you're practicing, you're there. And if some new bhakta come and get initiated and you're still beyond S, you know, don't be envious. Yeah, he's from previous life. He has a better karma than me. He got immediately initiated, become temple commander, you know, distribute 120 books. We had this one bhakta. 120 books. Places people distribute 30 books. He goes 120. How is this possible? He just smiles. He's not even endeavoring. He's just, how are you doing today? Here, 6 books. Boom. And people just buy it, you know. Previous life, you know. So don't be envious of other people. Be grateful that you are association devotees, that you apply in process in your life. And pray to Krishna. Pray to Krishna. Please send me a guru, or please give me intelligence which guru to choose, or show me which guru should I take. I know one devotee. He had a house in one country. I don't want to mention which country. And he was a long time also not initiated. He was praying and he was thinking, should I take this guru? And praying to Krishna, which guru should I take? And this and once one guru, spiritual master, was traveling to this area, and he übernachtet. Wie sagt man übernachtet? Stayed overnight. He stayed overnight in his house. And so this devotee was discussing with his friend, I'm not sure about guru, which guru should I take? You know, this was a topic. And this devotee said, he said, just him, you know, he said, who is in this room right now? He said, he's in your house. He said, if this is not Krishna's sign, what is Krishna's sign? He sent you guru to your own house. How many devotees get guru in their own house? Anybody? You know, rarely. And he said, he just saw like this door, behind this door, this is your answer. And this devotee was like, wow, such a revelation, you know. Wow. And he got initiated by this guru. Pray to Krishna. And if Krishna doesn't give you answer, well, wait. Patience, enthusiasm, utsaha nishcha daryat nishcha tat karma pravatan. Patience. Wait 2, 3 years, 4 years, whatever. But not, after this is becoming a little chronic. But there are devotees who are 20 years. 20 years in movement, 30 years sometimes, bhakta. You have a bhakta in Radhadesh, wasn't it? Bhakta Rick. Isn't it? Anybody knows? He's how many? At least 20 years. And he's Bhakta Rick. He's doing the gardening, he's doing his service, you know. No problem, you know. He's 20 years practicing, you know, doing service for Krishna. And I know one devotee who took initiation after 30 years. But this initiation was more like a friendship between the guru, because he was already old devotee, and guru was like, you know, just as a friend to friend, give him initiation. So you can wait also 30 years, but it's a little dangerous. Yes.
Sometimes his disciple is ready, his guru is coming. You know that his disciple is ready, his guru is coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes Guru already came and we don't even notice, in my case. I was already with the Guru, I joined with the Guru, he shaved me up, but I thought, which Guru should I take? It's kind of stupid. This is called Dummheit of Deutsch. Stupidity, So I'm definitely guilty of this. Because I thought I can choose Guru, whatever. But sometimes just we are joining one temple and the Guru is predominant Guru, we just take initiation from the Guru. Sometimes we take initiation because we are attracted by the disciple of the Guru. Sometimes it's so, some disciple is very prominent and you like to stay with this devotee and you take initiation from his Guru, not because of the Guru, but because you want to stay with this disciple. This is also okay. Because Shiksha is also important. Shiksha is actually as important as Diksha. Okay, more Guru topics? Or should we close the Guru? Yeah, more Guru topics. Let's see.
When I was a young Bhakta, I happened to read this book by Govinda Maharaj, and it really inspired me. And yeah, just this point to pray to the Chaitya Guru within.
Yes.
And rely on that. Of course, it can be very theoretical, but for me, somehow was very inspiring to just the more sincere you are within. Basically, my question is more towards: do you have any anecdotes, or can you observe, when you choose a guru, are you choosing a guru because of some material consideration, or because really there is a reciprocation from Chaitya Guru? So this is always
yes, sometimes devotees take initiation because Guru is beautiful, is smiles nicely, particularly smiling. Guru smiles and you think wow, he smiles at me, I'll take initiation from him. Which is also nice. That means it says actually the Shastras explain that Guru needs to needs to look pleasant. He said when you look at the Guru's face, you should feel, you have a pleasant sensation. You look at the Guru, you think, wow, he's very nice. He looks nice. This is also Shastric. It's not like against the Shastra. So if you like the Guru, some Guru we like how they look like. I know it's ridiculous, but some people, then because it's easier to take instruction from a person you like how they look. But some people are not into. Some people are more into power, for example. There was a very powerful acharya in these areas here, North Europe, and he was very powerful, and all these people were, he's very powerful Guru. I remember when I joined, very first, like 3 days after I joined, this was very, very long time ago, and these devotees told me, I see you have this, you're very heavy nature, I guess I was also, as a bhakta, I was kind of heavy, I don't know. He said, you have this heavy nature, you're a disciple of such and such Guru. I see it. He told me like this, I can see you are my god brother. Because his god brothers are all strong and, going, preaching, Sankirtan, So he thought, you are my god brother. And I ended up not being his god brother. But because some people are attracted to power, some people are attracted to smile, some girls attractive in Guru smiles, beautiful smile, and he sings, they're like, oh, Guru, they like it. So they're attracted to this. Some people are attracted by philosophy, for example. Some people there was this devotee in one country who became a disciple of one Guru who has only 0 disciples. There was his first disciple, probably, maybe the only one. But he likes the way he speaks, he likes the way he's a scholarly person, academic, and this and that. So he likes this, he's attracted to this. So he became his disciple. We have one devotee, I don't know, I don't want to tell his name, but he had, I think 3 gurus. 3 gurus left the movement. First one was, I think, anyway, Jaya Tirtha, second was Bhagavan, and third one was, I'm not sure. one of the three. Three gurus left the movement. So imagine, you put your faith in your guru and your guru leaves, and you're like, oh my God, and take another guru, and another guru leaves. And you put another faith in another guru, and these guru. That's again, Indian devotees, they cannot understand this. You cannot understand what does it mean when a guru leaves the movement or leaves you as a disciple. No, you cannot understand it. You just cannot understand it. You know, how difficult it is. For me, it was like a devastating, you know, like a death. You know, I always thought, you know, this is it, my spiritual. But then somehow you have to find a way to keep on going on your own. You know, you have to just say, okay, now I'm going myself. And what did I say now about the previously? Yeah, he had the three gurus. And then he said, I will take another guru. But this guru was a little bit different guru, because they worked together in Vaishnava Institute of Higher Education together as the teachers. So they were like colleagues, you can say. And then he said, and this guru doesn't have many disciples, maybe 3, 4, 5, whatever. And he's a different, he's not like your typical guru comes and give lectures. He's a more scholarly, reclusive person. And he said, I would like to take initiation from you. So he became his disciples, his disciple. So sometimes it's like this, that we take as a, basically everybody has to find their own way, their own style. One guru gave initiation to one lady, and she also had two various previous gurus fell from the position. And this guru gave initiation. I don't want to say who was it. And then the guru said, I hope I'm your last guru. It's funny. This is the reality, This is the reality. We have a ideal Vedic culture, but we also have ISKCON culture, and this is also part of ISKCON culture. Especially in the West, the rugged individualism. You create people like me, You created me. What can I do? To speak what I like to speak, what I want to speak, and because you created me like this. So now you have to tolerate. Not you, I mean the society. So, what else about Guru? Chaitya Guru. Chaitya Guru, this is, actually there's a verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam I found, I was also shocked. They said that actually, if you are not unable to find the external, manifestation of Guru, you should become yourself Guru for yourself. Something like this, I'm paraphrasing. And I was like, how do I, you become your own Guru. That means that you have to be connected to the Paramatma. And the Paramatma actually will guide you. So this is another level of whatever. But basically, the point of the whole thing, spiritual master tattva, Guru tattva, is that we somehow or other get connected to Krishna. The Srimad Bhagavatam is the 26 types of gurus. The Shiksha Guru, the fish, or whatever, the prostitute, all kinds of... These are all not exactly spiritual people, but they can teach us something. So, whoever is teaching us. Like I know one guru, one spiritual master, in South America. He has a disciple who was a disciple of somebody else in Gaudiya Math. There's a different society. And he just came one day and he said, I actually realized I like to stay in ISKCON, is it okay? And he said, yeah, okay, you can do some service here. And he said from that day on, he became his disciple, but not, yagya, no bananas, just like he liked to hear from this guru. And he said, if you ask now after 10 years, because there was 10 years, 15 years after, he said, if you ask devotees in the yatra, they will all say he was initiated by me. No difference. Sometimes it's like this, because Shiksha Guru is so important. The Shiksha Guru is actually our connection to Krishna. Again, unfortunately, we put Shiksha Guru in the back burner. Person who brings you to Krishna consciousness, person who trains you, and then once you get initiated Diksha, then you say, this guy, this cannot be, this cannot be. So, Shiksha Guru is no different. I don't want to go a little bit more extreme, but there's always extreme. You know. Whatever connects us to Prabhupada, to Krishna, to Lord Chaitanya. And we have a system, so we should use the system. A system means initiations. We get a bona fide guru, and we see this mood I like his lectures, and I want to follow this. Can I follow this? Usually the gurus, they tell you what they like, what they don't like. I saw this one lecture recently, and they said, I don't like one Swami. He said he wants devotees to dance in a particular way. He wants them to sit in a particular way. You know, to don't lean, whatever, or don't this, and he wants them to dance in some way. And he said, and he doesn't like when devotees wear beards. And he said, if you want to take initiation from me, you either follow this or take initiation from somebody else. Fair play, you know. Then he said, okay, I like to wear beard. I'll take initiation from somebody who doesn't care for wear beard. Because there are people who don't. For example, just example. So we are clear from the very beginning. No divorce, for example. If somebody says no divorce, I don't approve divorce. Or I don't approve. There's some gurus who don't want in between ashrams. We have in between ashrams nowadays. You know, Brahmasta or the Mamacharis. You know, Mamachari. You go a little bit to Mama, a little bit Brahmachari ashram, a little to Mama. You know, but wearing white. So there are gurus who don't. I know Shivaran Swami. He doesn't. He said there's there's only 4 ashrams, no 5 or 6. So either you wear white, be married, or you're Brahmachari ashram. That's it. So if you want to be his disciple, you have to be one of the things. Something like this. And then we should pray to Krishna, We should pray to Krishna for anything, actually. Anything, we should pray to Krishna. And even if Krishna doesn't give, says, okay, at least we are meditating on Krishna. Okay, anything else? My computer has died. So this is Krishna's arrangement. Finally, everybody's like, this, pity, but inside it was like, yeah. Thank you, Lord Chaitanya. Battery is finished. This is an older computer. Otherwise, we will be going too late. It's only 11:30. Let's see, maybe one last. Oh, this is still going on. This is amazing, you know. I have this list of the Raghavera Jala. She made sweets in the shape of bowls. Some are made with powdered coconut. There's so much, big list. Ooh, rice, cooked in ghee, fried in ghee. Wow, nice. But anyways, we're not going to talk about prasadam. Let's see what else we have. Should I say one last word? I mean, last word, but Lord Chaitanya, interestingly enough, the Lord Chaitanya's movement is very voluntary. I thought that was also a very interesting point. It's a voluntary movement. We don't need to actually give anything in reality. You know. Lord Chaitanya demands nichts, nothing. There's no demand. And there's this song by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Nadia Godrume Nityananda Mahajan Patiyache Namahata Jivarakaran. And then he said, Lord Nityananda has opened a marketplace. In marketplace, you sell things for some exchange. You know, this is called free market. You know, you have something to sell, people give you money for the product you sell. So Lord Nityananda has opened shop in the marketplace, but he doesn't charge money. Shraddhavan Janhe, Shraddhavan Janhe. What does Lord Nityananda want? Just faith. That's all. Lord Nityananda wants just faith that this thing what he gives is okay. That's all. This is such a wonderful process, actually. Totally free, no constraints. Of course, later on we feel, okay, I want to do something for Krishna, I want to give whatever donation, or I want to build a temple, for Krishna, or whatever we want. But initially, there's no demands. This is such a wonderful thing, actually, from Lord Chaitanya. He's freely distributing, which no other incarnation has ever given before. what is it? Anarpita charim chira karunya vatirna kalo. Samarpayitum unatojvala rasa sabhakti shriya. Hari purata sput kadamba sandipita sada hridaya kandare spuratova Sacinandana. The Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is given with given to people with no other incarnation is ever given. Pure love for Krishna. Unatojvala rasa. This ujvala rasa. No incarnation has ever given this before. So this is like an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. And it's all for free. You get the best thing for free. If somebody will come here and say, would you like Porsche? Porsche auto? Yeah, sure. Oh, yes. You? What do you like? I like BMW. Bayerische Motorwerk. Okay, take it. You take one. And they give you everything for free. And you think, wow, this is a very generous person. So Lord Chaitanya has given us the most generous gift. And what else? I think maybe we should end. Yeah, he packed his camera. This is a sign. No, okay. Oh man, there's so many wonderful things. And now philosophy, I didn't even touch philosophical points. I have whole notes of philosophy. This is amazing, actually. But I think we are too tired. As Androti said once, Prabhupada would say, when evening was very late, and Prabhupada would say, you all look very tired. Meaning he wants to take a rest. So you look very tired of me speaking. Oh, now I think I think it's okay. We spoke enough about Lord Chaitanya. It's 11:30. Oh, I have to speak at 4 again. Oh man, okay. Okay, I have some topics which we didn't cover here. And this is the initiation of Lord Chaitanya, my favorite topic. This is such a heartwarming story. If you want a heartwarming story, it's how Lord Chaitanya took initiation. The heartbreaking story for me, Lord Chaitanya with his mother, this I cannot speak about. This is I always felt like, this is such a heartbreaking, the love. But this is a heartwarming story, initiation. How Lord Chaitanya, and this came, I must say, from the inspiration. This is amazing. Lava matra sadhu sangha. By association with pure devotees, 1 second can change your life. I had a fortune to know one devotee. His name was Yashamati Nandam Prabhu. He was from Gujarat, Ahmedabad. And this person was, for me, pure devotee. Whatever he said was amazing to me. Somehow, when I was a young devotee, he was so somehow kind to me and felt very great inspiration. He was Grihasta and he built this wonderful temple in Ahmedabad. And once I remember he was reading Bengali, he was translating this initiation of Lord Chaitanya. And how he spoke, how Lord Chaitanya, when he got initiated, suddenly this sudden change, and this forever stayed in my heart. Like really, this was maybe 20 years ago. It stays, this feeling of this wonderful moment stayed in my heart, just because he spoke it. So lava matra sadhu sangha sarva siddhi haya. Association of pure devotees, 1 second can actually sarva siddhi, all perfection can come from it. So we should again consider this. Okay, I think it's good. You all look very tired today, and you all have spoken too long. Thank you, and Shri Krishna Caitanya Mahaprabhu ki Jaya. See us again at 5 o'clock. Srila Prabhupada ki Jaya. I have to carry this wonderful garland. I think I'm going to take it. This for another day in my room. Then you go to sleep and you wake up. Is it still going on?